into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning Expresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
There is hope in the world. A very good morning. Welcome to it. My name is Graham Richards.
And I'm Zoe Brown. A very good morning to you.
How are you, you wonderful human being?
Very good. And I feel like we're all a bit inspired by the US inauguration that took place yesterday. Completely. To all of our American brothers and sisters, enjoy the dawn of a new era. I didn't think that it would affect me as much as it did, but I've just had this overwhelming sense of relief since then. But I love the fact that there was a very loud message out there about the planet, about where America's going, but also about their connection to the rest of the world. So we are ready to reconnect with you as well, and we wish you nothing but the best in a proud and a brave new time for all of our American viewers, because we know there are quite a few of you out there as well. So have an amazing day, and hopefully you were able to celebrate that. I've got to say, we are going to raise the cool levels on the show today. We definitely are, because you're in for a treat. We are spending the morning with none other than actor, filmmaker and TV presenter Thapelo Mokoena. He's in studio with us today. We'll be catching up with him, find out how his latest business ventures are going, also finding out how he managed to chisel those abs. And I'm talking about all 6 of them.
And he's doing some amazing stuff. He's been a huge source of inspiration to me personally over the last couple of years. So can't wait to have a chat, catch up with him, find out how he and his beautiful family are doing. And of course, he's going to give us some amazing tips on how you can get as inspired about your own life. Then we're going to be getting into fitness, and of course the pedestrians are in the house to just take the cool level to an even higher space. So cannot wait to have you join us for all of that. But let's connect with those beautiful human beings looking camera ready this morning. Morning, gang.
Work it, girl.
Yes.
Work it. Yes.
Yes.
Loving it.
Angles up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are we
Vogue.
ready?
Vogue.
Hello, everybody. We are ready. We are camera ready, and we are ready for you guys. I'm Zanzi. My name is Jamie Lee Domberg.
I'm Raul de Mona, and thank you for joining us on this Klein Vrydag as we almost bring you through and close to the weekend. We're almost there. I can smell it. But before we even get there, we're asking you a special question on social media this morning, with tech being the talk of the town this year, with so many cool things coming through. We're wondering, what is the coolest picture that you've ever taken with your tech device, be it a mobile device, be it a DSLR camera, whatever it may be? What is the coolest picture? And we want you to post up your skills on our social media channels so we can judge for ourselves.
Absolutely. And of course, we brought in the favorite, Grant Hines, to show us exactly how to take those portraits, those selfies, but also how to take a good morning picture, those sunrise pictures. We want the lights, we want the drama. Because, Raul, your pictures are always next level. So I'm going to judge you on that picture.
Okay, yes, the bar's been set.
The bar's been set. We're going to check it out. But of course, connect with us, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. It is a Thursday, and we are going to be giving you all the feel-goodness for the next 3 hours. But right now, let's connect with you with our news headlines. Here, Zoe.
Thank you. Starting with national news, the Department of Basic Education says several provinces have completed the marking of grade 12 exam papers ahead of schedule, and that the results will be released on time. The department's Assessment and Examination Director, Priscilla Ugunbanyo, yesterday said over 90% of centres which were scheduled to finalise the marking of scripts tomorrow have already wrapped up. Gauteng, Limpopo, KwaZulu-Natal and the Northern Cape have already concluded their work, while the remaining provinces will be rounding up today. And the CEO of the South African Social Security Agency, Busisiwe Mamela, has apologized for grant beneficiaries experiencing a long queues at SASSA offices in the Western Cape and in KwaZulu-Natal. Police used a water cannon to enforce social distancing by elderly and disabled grant recipients outside SASSA's Bellville offices in the Western Cape on Friday, while one person died while queuing in Durban. SASSA offices have been inundated by thousands of people needing to reapply for temporary disability grants, which lapsed in December, affecting about 210,000 people. We now move beyond our own borders, where Zimbabwean Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister Sibusiso Moyo succumbed to COVID-19 yesterday as the country battles to contain a spike in cases. 61-year-old Moyo, known for announcing the military intervention in 2017 that ended Robert Mugabe's 37-year rule, died in a Harare clinic. He had a known kidney problem that kept him out of work for long periods as he sought regular dialysis. Moyo, a career soldier, was married to Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission chairperson Lois Matanda Moyo. He is the third Zimbabwean government minister to succumb to COVID-19. And in the US, Joe Biden has been inaugurated as the 46th US president, ending one of the most dramatic political transitions in American history. Democracy has prevailed, he said, after taking the oath of office before Chief Justice John Roberts. Kamala Harris was sworn in ahead of Biden as vice president. She is the first woman and the first Black and Asian American in this position. Three of Biden's predecessors, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush, were present. Donald Trump did not attend, only the third one in history to do so, and the last since 1868. And now some news of the recipients of a top London Design Award. 3 bright pink seesaws that allowed people to interact over the American-Mexico border has won the prestigious London Design Museum's Design of the Year award. 3 pink seesaws were placed in the gaps in the wall and allowed children and even some adults from 2 countries to play together. The creators of the seesaws, Ronald Rail, a professor of architecture at the University of California's Berkeley campus, and Virginia San Fratello, an associate professor of design at San Jose State University, said they were totally surprised by the unexpected honor. They added they hoped the design would help people reassess the effectiveness of borders and encourage dialogue rather than division. After all, Rail said, walls don't stop viruses from moving. We have to think about how we can be connected and be together without hurting each other. The project saw off 70 nominees, which included a 3D rendering of the virus causing COVID-19 and Lee Ha-yoon's set design from the Oscar-winning South Korean film Parasite. Seems the timing of this award promoting unity among all has certainly come at a very appropriate time in history. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take a first look at your sport.
Thank you so much. So let's start with the good news first. The Proteas women recorded a narrow 3-run victory over Pakistan's ladies in the first one-day international at the Kingsmead Stadium down in Durban. Pakistan won the toss and elected to field first. South Africa then posted an impressive 200 for 9 in their 50 overs. Marizanne Kapp posting 47 and Laura Wolfart posting 40 as the pair finished as the top batters for the Proteas on the day. Pakistan failing to reach their target, posting 197 for 8. Giving South Africa the win by a narrow 3-run margin. Then on to Rugby Sevens. Something to get excited about. Rugby Sevens will be returning to the desert this December. That's after organisers of the Dubai Sevens confirmed the tournament will take place from the 2nd to the 4th of December this year. The Blitzboks were the last team, in fact, to win the tournament in Dubai in the World Rugby Sevens Series back in 2019-2020. That was after the rest of the 2020 tournament was cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic. This year's tournament is expected to feature more teams than ever and will feature cricket for the very first time as well. Plenty of action on the footballing field to catch up on in the Premier Soccer League last night. Cape Town City looked impressive. They beat Black Leopards 2-0. TX Galaxy, they thrashed Maritzburg United 3-0, and Baraka FC overcame Stellenbosch 3-2 in a very exciting fixture. In other results, still in search of that elusive win, Orlando Pirates and Golden Arrows, they played out to a goalless draw at the Orlando Stadium. Then SuperSport United and AmaZulu ended in a 1-1 draw as well. And the ever-impressive Swallows this season, they squandered the chance to go top of the table, being held to a 1-1 draw against Chipper United. Then hopping across the pond, Manchester United returned to the top of the English Premier League standings. That was after recording a 2-1 victory over Fulham at Craven Cottage. Goals by Edison Cavani and Paul Pogba were enough to confirm the win for the Red Devils. In other results on the charge, Manchester City, they beat Aston Villa 2-0 at the Etihad. So Man United do top the table on 40 points, with Man City now in second with 38 points, still with that game in hand though. Defending Premier League champions Liverpool, they'll be in action tonight up against the ever-dangerous Burnley. That one kicks off at 10 p.m. We'll touch on those headlines again in about an hour or so. Right now, let's take a look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures with Ryle.
Thank you so much, G. Now, this is my favorite part of the morning where we asked you, Mzansi, to send us your sunrise pictures, and oh boy, did you answer the call. Now, our regular Ntokozo Theo Makatini from Joburg sent us this blue skyline showing cirrocumulus clouds, which simply put are thin, sometimes patchy, sheet-like clouds that usually appear in long rows high in the sky. Now, Ntokozo, Joburg will have a maximum of 30 degrees today. It seems like a sunny one indeed. And now, Gloria from Rustenburg also submitted this sun rising over the trees in the distance, and oh, does it not look beautiful indeed. And of course, you can expect a mostly sunny and pleasant day ahead, peaking at 32 degrees. Now, looking at the rest of the weather around the world, if you'd like to be featured obviously in our sunrise segments, please make sure to head over to our Facebook page to post your pictures. And to all our aspiring photographers watching, you do not want to miss out on our tech segment shortly, where we will be sharing some awesome tips on how you too can take the perfect sunrise photo. But now moving over to international weather reports, Tropical Storm Eloise is set to intensify and could develop into a cyclone. Now, weather experts say South Africa may experience heavy rains over the next few days. And Mozambican authorities are already on high alert, with Professor of Climatology at the Global Change Institute at Wits, Francois Engelbrecht, says severe winds and flooding could be possible. Now, he said the storm was going to move into southern Mozambique and then towards South Africa's eastern escarpment. In the northeast, some parts of Limpopo, Mpumalanga and the Eswatini, which could expect somewhat of anywhere between 100 millimeters of rain on Sunday and Monday. Now, Engelbrecht said even up to 200 millimeters of rain was possible in certain areas, bringing with it a distinct possibility of flooding. Now, that's a wrap-up of the international weather news. Now, looking at our local front, and let's have a look at the local weather, starting off with Polokwane and a low of 16 and moving over to a high of 26 degrees with a slight chance of rain coming through there. Mbombela, a low of 18 and a high of 30 with a definite chance of rain coming in at 41%. Pretoria, a low of 16 and a high of 32 with a slight chance of rain with some clouds and sunny skies mostly expected. Johannesburg, a low of 15 and a high of 30 degrees, sun expected all around, bring the costumes out. And then Mahikeng, a low of 19 and a high of 32. Looks like a warm one there indeed. Klerksdorp, very similar with a low of 19 and a high of 33. And then Kimberley following the pack with a low of 22 and a high of 34. And now we're moving over to Bloemfontein with a low of 19 and a high of 31 with a slight percentage of 25% rain coming through there. And then Richards Bay, a low of 22 and a high of 29 with 25% chance of rain. Pietermaritzburg starting off with a low of 18, moving all the way through to 30-degree high. And Durban, a low of 23, moving all the way through to 28 degrees. Mthatha, a low of 17 and a high of 30 degrees. East London moving over to a starting temperature of 21 degrees and moving its way all the way up to 28. Cradock starting off at 18 and moving all the way to a scorcher of 38 degrees. You want to get yourself hydrated there for sure. Port Elizabeth, the windy city, starting off at 20 degrees and moving all the way to 27 with sun all around. That can be expected. George, a low of 18 and a high of 26. The mother city, 18, low with a high of 27 with no rain expected at all. Worcester, a low of 18 and a high of 39, another scorch out there. And much the same for Sutherland. They start off with a low of 17 and a high of 33. And last but not least, taking the cake when it comes to temperatures, starting off with a low of 27 and a high of 40 degrees. That can be expected in Uppington, a very high one indeed. But that's all we have for your weather this morning. Let's move over to the ladies and see what's cooking with our latest style edition.
Oh, listen, a lot is cooking, because yesterday we asked you on our social media who your Women Crush Wednesday was, and we got this comment. It's very funny and cute, and I love it. Tobani CL Msweli says, my today's Women Crush is you, Kuthle Adams. Girl, you got me so sprung, and I'm only 22. It's okay, you guys are the same age. When you speak, dang, your voice, please say my name. Please don't let my wife Zoe Brown see this.
Oh.
Well, Zoe heard it now first, but we will let Kuthle say your name when she's in studio again. Tobani, we see you. We see all the love for the girls.
But you know what we can do? Kuchles is Woman Crush Wednesday. I'm the wifey, you can be the girlfriend.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm already David Beckham's girlfriend, so it's fine. We'll just say that later. But you have something interesting to share with us this morning.
Yes, so I had a lot of fun online. I demonstrated how to make a hair bun in under a minute, and my producer said, well, let's do it on the show. So I thought I should show you. Jamie, you're going to put the timer on and just see how long it can take me to literally put all of this hair up into a hair bun. Are you okay over there?
Yes, I got the timer.
You've got the timer? So when you are ready, I'm going to start.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Okay, so you start by simply putting your hair up into a pony. Naturally, I want to do it as neat as possible, so I'm taking my time doing that. And then I use this bun maker device, which is really, really cool and simple. Okay, so my pony's not the neatest, but that's okay. You simply take your hair, put it between the bun maker, you snap. Hold on, I'm going to do it this way around.
You have 30 seconds left, but you look like you
snap it, and then you just roll your hair up. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. And then you fold it down, and then you have a bun.
And I'm going to stop the clock because it's done.
Under
43 seconds, everybody.
And I messed it up a bit. I messed it up a bit.
That is so fun and that is so cool. You obviously need hair for that. I don't know what I'm going to do, but that is
nice and easy. And you know what? I know sometimes for me, when you want to really push your hair and you don't have time to wash it, yes, you have your dry shampoo options. You can always wear a hat, but sometimes indoors you can't wear a hat, so you just pour it up in a bun.
And it's perfect for you with training now because you're getting so sweaty and everything. Girl, Ariana Grande.
This is the lazy girl hairstyle, but it still looks stylish.
We love
so no offense to girls that wear their hair up, because I'm one of them that love it.
We love it. Please take inspiration from Zoe Brown, our Women Crush Wednesday, our Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Thursday every single day, but we're also going to be catching up with pedestrians in just a little bit, so don't go anywhere.
Only you can make my day.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on SABC3, and you are in for a treat this morning. Now, Simon van Harten, Bradley Prince, Jordan Simons, Keanu Harker, and Matthew Fisher make up the multi-genre band The Pedestrians. The Pedestrians have performed their original music as well as popular covers at major music festivals in South Africa, from the Joy of Jazz International Festival in Johannesburg to the Cape Town International Jazz Festival. And this morning, we're catching up with the band as they discuss what we can expect from them and talk about their personal journey with COVID-19. Good morning, boys. So good to have you with us this morning. Okay.
How you guys been, man? How you doing? I know I can feel the energy feels good, especially this morning in the rehearsals. I'm so excited. But how's it been, guys? How you doing?
Yeah.
It's been good.
That's going to happen a lot.
It's been good. It's been a strange time, obviously, as all industries has been impacted. But otherwise, I think we've been good. We've been keeping positive in the sense of writing music. We've been in studio. We've got exciting things happening this year for us. So otherwise, for the most part, we've been good under the circumstances.
Jordan, I'm just going to call you out because you're the youngest one in the team, and I feel like you were trying to shy away at the back there.
Yeah.
But as a team, as the Pedestrians, how do you guys stay motivated and, you know, just stay together as a group to keep working and keep pushing out new music?
Firstly, we love music, we share the passion, and so when we come to rehearsal, we bring to the table, we all bring 100% of ourselves, you know, leaving whatever life brings at home, and we actually come to do what we love best, and, you know, just excited to see what the future holds for the Pedestrians.
Do they call you out a lot because you're obviously the baby in the group? Do they tease you a lot? Do they pick on you?
I think there's a fair share of that.
Yes.
I like it. The honesty's going out. Now, listen, guys, I'm just to switch things up a little bit, I had a chat with a buddy of mine and a few friends actually mentioning that we're meeting the Pedestrians tomorrow, and everyone's like, oh, awesome bunch of guys. One friend unfortunately mentioned to me a manager that you had, Fazila Ibrahim, which I believe sadly actually passed away due to the COVID pandemic of late, which I can imagine, and apparently you guys all refer to as basically your mom, a mom manager and someone that was truly close to you. So my question is, how, when you're so young and you've got such a crazy dynamic and you have someone kind of steering you and guiding you in this process, how do you then move on from that? How do you stay a band and keep making that music after something so tragic?
I definitely think that because of her background in what she's been doing, just musically, she understood so much. And it wasn't a case of she was our manager, it was just moms. And we learned so much from her that she actually showed us the way. She's like, guys, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. This is what you say. Don't ever make as if you are scared, you know. Just put your foot down, step up. And the fact that she has left us now, we're doing this for her. We're doing this, and especially the song that says we're not hopeless. Really, we feel like, okay, we're not hopeless. We have so much hope. We know we've got a guardian angel, and that's why so many doors are opening right now, because we know she's looking out for us.
She's opening.
But just the idea that she showed us so much. We feel like even though we are so young, like you mentioned, we know so much now because of what she has showed us. So thanks, moms. This one is for you.
So beautiful, and you're definitely going to pay tribute to her for the rest of this year. Matthew, maybe I can ask you that question. What can we expect from you guys for the rest of 2021?
So 2020 is really exciting for us. We spent most of 2021. We spent most of 2020.
It's a long year, guys.
Preparing for this year. We've been in studio last year with two of SA's top producers, and we're excited to release some new music. Not Hopeless. We actually performed Not Hopeless for the first time in 2019 on Expresso, and you know, we wrote that song, and we just said, no, let's go record it, and it's currently charting at number 4 on the radios, which we're excited for. And we're looking to put out our debut album this year, so you can expect that from us. And we're just really excited to, you know, be able to put our music out there and let the people hear it, because we just reached a point where we got a bit sick of playing cover songs, and we needed to get out of that rut. So we were like, okay, cool, let's do this. So for the future and what lies ahead, we definitely pushing our own music, our original music.
Yep.
And yeah, we're excited for that.
I think the rest of Mzansi was just like, yes! Finally! Now, let me ask you, Simon, you've been a bit quiet there, and I definitely feel like you're the biggest clown of this group, man. You look like the trickster for sure.
Spot on.
Oh, yes, called it.
What are you talking about, guys? I don't know what you're
So
saying.
let me ask you, man, I mean, and I want you to be careful with this because the show's powerful. And what happens here and what we say here often materializes.
Okay.
So my question to you is, if you could do a song or collaborate with an artist, man, who would it be?
Whoa.
No
Go
pressure.
crazy, go crazy. Be careful, because this might come into fruition, my man.
I literally have no idea. Guys, help me, please, because honestly, we really just want to do our own.
We kind of like multi-genre, cover everything. We'd probably want to collaborate with someone like, you know, Nasty C.
Nasty C, definitely.
Trezo,
AKA.
you know, so different genres because we...
Okay. You know, we've played with a lot of great.
Yeah, you know, even Francois Van Coke, some
Exactly.
like Coke Bantal, some like because we describe ourselves as multi-genre, we feel like we are capable of pulling off every genre to a high standard.
Thanks, Simon, for answering the question.
Took too long, man.
I know I do take too long. Sorry, my mistake. But yes, all those people.
All those people. Yeah, we love the list. Keep the list coming. Keep it going. The Pedestrians, so good to have you with us, and you're going to be entertaining us for the next 3 hours here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. So don't go anywhere, everybody. The Pedestrians are in the building.
Yes.
Well, if you love entertaining at home and you may be looking for a quick and easy treat to really satisfy those sweet tooth cravings, then our Clover Classic mini lava cakes are exactly what you are looking for. It is the ideal indulgent recipe for all cakes and chocolate lovers, and it's also suitably perfect for an impressive dessert after dinner. And Graham, you are the one taking us through this amazing
I'm going to do my
recipe.
utmost. I'm going to do my utmost here to live up to our amazing foodie team's example. This is one of those that it can be very impressive, but it's a beautiful, quite a dramatic little dessert. And there are a couple of things that you've got to get right to do it, but it is relatively simple, I am told. So let's give it a bash.
Okay.
And we're going to have a lot of fun, and it is ultimately delicious and indulgent, which is what we want out of a dessert. So we've got some chocolate on a bain-marie here. Kind of keep it nice and warm, and it's melted. So to that, we are going to add, because this is luxurious, it's silky smooth, so we're going to add
our Clover Classic.
And
There
we
we go.
want 3 nice large tablespoons of that. It's going to give
more
it
the
a
better.
beautiful
There we
velvety
go.
texture, and that's what we want in this world.
And what's great is it's great. It's versatile. It is easy to cook with. It's also something that's really, look at that. You can simply pop it into your chocolate there.
And see the gloss that comes already. Now, I've been told we are tempering this chocolate, so I've got to be very careful. That's already starting to form a beautiful batter. And this is going to be somewhere between kind of like a mousse and a hard cake. That's exactly what you're wanting. Okay, that's looking good.
So can I tell you the rookie mistake I once made in the process of melting chocolate?
Go.
I added what you would call your fat element, the liquid element, to the melted chocolate too quickly, and it was cold, and it just seized up.
Well, the alternative is that you create scrambled egg while putting in your egg into the mixture too quickly. So you want to do it slowly, but look at that. That's already starting to turn into this beautiful, velvety, lovely texture.
Do you want me to whisk your eggs for you?
No, I'm going to add those into the mixture.
As is?
Yeah, as is.
Okay.
Okay, that's looking good, I think. I'm going to take this off, and this is where now we're going to gradually mix through all of our ingredients. I would give you that too.
I would, yes, please, for after the show. This is mine.
That's yours. So now we're going to mix in our flour. You can use self-raising flour or flour and baking powder if you want, because you do want a bit of rise. This is one of those, you want a bit of rise and a bit of flop as well. But you see that beautiful moussey kind of texture, that's ultimately what you're going for.
And that will also add that whole authentic, rusty, homey look to your dessert.
Oh, and the smell of this dark chocolate is amazing. And you'll see we'll counter kind of pointed with a little bit of a berry coulis as well.
There we go.
I'm going to just add the rest of you. Okay, now we're going to, and this you've got to kind of get in there and mix it well. That's starting to look beautiful.
There we
okay,
go.
now we're going to add the remainder of our
eggs.
and this.
I'm quite surprised you don't have to scramble it. I mean,
Yeah,
that
I'm
just
going to be
already
giving it quite a
simplifies.
vigorous mix as we go. So I think that kind of negates the need. I'm just trying not to do it too quickly to end up with.
You don't want scrambled egg, like you said.
Exactly.
So that's the secret with this. You just need to be a little bit patient. You need to take your time mixing that egg in bit by bit.
There we go.
There we go.
And again, it's getting that beautiful gloss. And this one, expect, you know, a little bit of elbow grease. You're going to have to get stuck in and get involved. It's coming together nicely.
I mean, when you eat a lava cake at a restaurant, you know, at the end of the day, when you put that spoon through your cake, you want it to kind of still ooze a bit.
Well, this is
So
exactly it.
there's no pressure to that, because that's what I'm expecting from a lava cake.
Exactly, and this is, I think, where the baking time is going to be absolutely essential, where you're going to have to watch it in those final minutes. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is we've got our 2 little ramekins there.
Okay.
We've already lined them with a bit of our fat spread. Now I want you to dust the cocoa powder into there, give it a good liberal dusting, and that's, apart from obviously looking really cool, is a little chef's hack to ensure that we can get the lava cake out of the ramekin once we're finished. So make sure that every little kind of corner of that ramekin is covered.
There we go. And the nice thing is you just base it with a little bit of like grease fat. There we go.
Oh, there's my milk.
Add that to
Thank
you. Give that to you. Okay, so it's greased quite generously. There we go.
Okay.
See, I feel like with lava cake, you can be messy.
Yeah, no, expect the kitchen to get nice and messy. Okay, I think this mixture is looking absolutely beautiful. It looks luxurious. We've managed to not cook the egg. It's looking absolutely stunning. What we're going to do now is we're going to fill our ramekins. I'll pop that over there. And literally you're going to fill it to about
2/3.
2/3 of the way through. Pop it into the oven, 200 degrees Celsius for 6 to 9 minutes. From 6 minutes, start checking. You're going to tap the center, and if it is still kind of wobbly, then you know you're right. If the outside is firm and the center is wobbly, that's what you want. You don't want it to set.
So the wobbliness is what will give you that when you put the spoon through, it will give you...
And it's going to ooze. I'm going to quickly show you a trick as well, hopefully. So a little bit of berry coulis or roulade, put a nice big blob like that. And you grab a spoon.
Look at that. That's how you get the awesome chef look.
And then you're going to take your little ramekin out of it, your little...
There we go. And because we dusted it with my good dusting skills, that's how easy it was released.
And then just one last trick to show you, because hopefully we've got the right oozage. Here's one that we made a little bit earlier. And we're going to cut this beauty in half. And then, oh, it's not oozing yet.
Ooh.
There you can see a beautiful soft center, and you can finish it off with a lovely dollop of cream. There you have it.
There we go.
Our lava cakes. Well done.
Amazing. Well, if you would love to get your hands on this Clover Classic lava cake that we made, in fact, it was a mini one. We have that recipe available for you online. You can find it at expressoshow.com. And in case you missed any of the steps, we've got a quick recap for you.
Look at that.
Made with love by Clover.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic!
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
The man with the coolest sound effects is here. In a day of social media, we're all about capturing that perfect moment on camera. But what if you're looking to take it to the next level? Sometimes you find yourself asking, which camera should I buy? Especially now with so much on offer. Well, yeah, there are a huge amount of cameras worldwide on the market at the moment. A lot to bewilder us a little bit. Which one does the job properly according to your needs? That's the important part. An aficionado in the space. I would say you're obsessed with cameras.
Yeah,
Grant Hines is here. Yeah.
Like, these are my cameras that I brought from home, and the main reason is that I love photography and I love taking photos, and also
videography or photography.
Both actually.
Okay.
So I love to make short videos, and I obviously do my YouTube stuff. But also photography is this amazing passion of mine. We have this ability to capture things at a very inexpensive cost in ways that we've never been able to do before, and the learning space isn't that much more. Like you learn a little bit and you go like, wow, that's so much better. That's so much better. Yeah. So,
but the world of cameras and photography has gotten from like 0 to 100 real quick. I mean, there's so many options, Grant. How do you decide on what to choose?
Okay, so let me help you decide. A lot of people come and ask me, they go like, I want to buy a camera, but I've got this thing that I want to do. I want to shoot my family photos. What do I get? So I'm going to provide a tool set for you with some of the cameras that I have over here. These are kind of standard genres of camera, and you can choose your genre of camera. It doesn't matter, for the most part, do your research. It doesn't matter really which brand it is. You just need to go do your research. But there are like 4 staple camera genres. The first one I want to touch on is one that not many people talk about, is the camcorder. When last did you see a camcorder?
It's been a while, buddy. It's been a while, yeah.
I remember them being like 5 times the size, though. Like, yo, look over here.
Well, if you look at, you can't really see, but the cameras behind the lens that we're looking at right now, they're these huge ones. This is like a compact one, but the technology's gotten really far. This shoots 4K, and it's got this handle so you can, like, you know, obviously film skateboarding and a whole bunch of stuff. It does also take photographs, so you can actually take some photos with this. So if you mostly focus on video, these cameras are designed for video, and a lot of people forget about them. And the benefit is you don't need to add extra lenses to the front, which are very costly when you are getting into photography. This is a genre of camera that's often really forgotten. I use this for live streaming predominantly, but like a lot of people will use this potentially for like, I want to shoot like family videos or whatever.
Did you have to add the jacks for the sound?
The sound? No, this comes with it. So a lot of these cameras do come with this. This handle is removable, and then you can add the jacks for the sound. If you want to, you know, I know, Graham, you are actually professional. You'll do stuff at home with this.
I'm actually a pro. I'm actually a pro.
Well, I'm actually a pro.
No, I do ask for that very reason, because we're having to do so much at home now. I'm having to stream myself, conduct business meetings, and you want the video.
And these are two audio jacks that you can have 2 microphones and film a podcast.
Cool.
You know, that kind of thing. So let's move on. This particular camera this genre is called the point and shoot. So the point and shoot genre is literally, there are no attachable lenses. It's got a very versatile lens. This has got an 8.8 to 36 mil, and you have a selfie, you know, front-facing lens.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So you can
display,
film yourself. Like vlogging, so a lot of vloggers use this. When I worked with all those vloggers in the UK, a lot of them had this in their back pocket so they could film with. It's dedicated, it's very small form factor, and also takes really good photos because it's got that 8.8 to 36.
So that's a nice balance of both worlds.
It's a nice balance of both worlds. It's a nice entry level. It does like slow motion, like 120 frames a second.
Nice.
It's a nice, and it's nice. Like I've actually put this like at an airport. I've switched it on and recorded, put it in the tray, and run it through like the X-ray machine to get some cool shots. You can do things with this camera where a lot of people will go like, no, get that camera out of here.
Did you get arrested for doing that?
No, that's not illegal.
Before people start doing
I got to just mention, though, the size of that is a massive appeal right now, especially when you look at your DSLRs, and apart from your mirrorless lenses and cameras, those kits are so big, so that's a perfect travel companion.
Like you say, just put it in the back pocket.
Yeah, so talking about DSLRs and mirrorless, this is a mirrorless camera, but it's also in the DSLR form factor, and you're going to find a lot of cameras that are like this, and a huge range. The big deal is that these have interchangeable lenses. lenses. So you can change a whole bunch of these. The body of the camera is actually the cheapest part. You're gonna so this is you'll go, oh wow, this camera's not so expensive, but you're gonna have to start getting lenses.
All about the glass.
So when and this is for serious people. If you're taking serious photographs and you wanna just up your photo game, start with a body that you know that you can afford the lenses as they go forward. And there's a standard set of lenses that most photographers will use. This is a 24mm. You'll get a nifty 50.
Oh, the nifty
and a
50.
Raul behind stage is like, oh, the nifty 50. I was like, oh, look at you. You know what you're talking about.
That thing, and it looks so beautiful. The bokeh is so creative. It looks so artistic. You can't go wrong with the nifty 50, man.
And it goes all the way up to like an 85mm. This is like a portrait lens. And this glass in here produces some incredible photos, but it becomes really expensive. But again,
that's obviously if you've really specialized in it. Buddy, I love it. I think I'm a point and shoot kind of guy where I am in the world at the moment, but I'm loving that camcorder, and the idea of what you can do with video at the moment is amazing. The fact that the quality is so good, and that these are open to all of us.
Well, so on social, I've taken some photos with this is of Samsung's new best top of the range camera. Taken a bunch of photos with these on social. We're going to be sharing it. You guys can tell us what you think is what photo comes from which and which one you think is the best.
Wow, okay.
So I'm really excited about that. This is the S21 Ultra. So this is like, and this is one of the cameras that do not underestimate. I want you to see for yourself what it's like on the photographs.
4K video. Well, there you have it. Some choices in the world of videography and photography. Hopefully, we've inspired you to go out there and find the right choice for you.
Oh, I can't wait for Grant behind to take a new picture for us, for our profile picture.
New profile pictures.
Now, I know you guys know this, but we drink coffee every single day. It's how we cope, it's how we function for the next 3 hours. But we often don't stop to think about, you know, really the impact it has on the environment.
That's right. Now, Expresso is big on ensuring that every cup of coffee that you drink isn't only completely sustainable, but that the communities that produce the coffee also benefit through their AAA sustainability program.
Tuthiite maita matatu moria turonaga production iri iguru riu times 3 of the production.
Ya hoy en día sí, ya todos sabemos si producimos bueno, sabemos que vamos a vender bueno. Entonces ya uno se va teniendo más cultura y va haciendo las cosas mejores.
Estos proyectos estamos volviendo muchos años atrás para poder atraer muchos animales y poder combatir el medio ambiente que actualmente se vive. Con estos árboles podremos empezar de nuevo.
amazing what Nespresso is doing out there in the community, all about sustainability for 2021. We love to see it.
That's right. And something else we love is having visitors on your Feel Good Breakfast show. We're catching up with Thapelo Mokoena shortly, so don't go anywhere.
We chose some of the world's rarest local coffee crafts and refined them to create 5 distinct new tastes. After all, we are the choices we make.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. So great to have you join us on a show that's got us extremely excited, and this is why. He is a much-loved South African actor, filmmaker, television presenter, entrepreneur. There's very little that he doesn't do at the moment. Thapelo Mokoena is known for the big roles that he's played on the big and the small screen, both locally, internationally. He's broken a barrier, I think, for a lot of other South African actors as well. And of course, I think way back when we fell in love with him, when he played the role of Gabriel in the TV soapy Generations, which some of you might have even forgotten about. But since then, he has been taking the world by storm with some amazing roles and incredible projects. And this morning, the popular actor and entrepreneur now joins us to chat about lockdown, life, the wife, kids, business ventures, a little bit of vino. Buddy, we love you, man. We love you so much. And we rejoice in the fact that we get to see you, obviously, on social media, living your life. And thanks for giving us that access, because for an old friend, it's always great to kind of, someone said proof of life, and I love being able to get that proof of life and seeing where you are and what you're doing. But lockdown doesn't seem to have slowed you down, buddy. How's wife and kids and life, man?
Dude, like, yeah, you and I have been through a lot together. If we've done Strictly Come Dancing together, we can do anything.
You know.
That's the way.
You know, but yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for having me. Sure, what a journey. Lockdown, right? You would imagine that one is restricted, caged up, literally locked down, but you know, just the power of potential is insane. And in my world, I feel like lockdown unlocked so many levels to my life, you know, and I'm not complaining. You know, it's all about, I assume, putting yourself out there and trying to make things work. And so far, so good. I'm not complaining at all, bro.
I like that outlook. You know, lockdown has unlocked so many different things in your life. And I think a general consensus when you generally ask people, how were your holidays? Some people say it was the best because we did nothing. So I want to know, how were your holidays?
Well, in my world, I kind of almost did everything.
Okay.
You know, like I went back to that vault, you know, where all my ideas sat, everything I've ever wanted to create. I went, you know, I revisited that. You know, when lockdown began, when the country was shut down, I literally started cooking. You know, what I did is before the official lockdown, I went and set up and cleaned out my garage, brought all my cameras from my office straight into my garage, and I started working, bro. So, you know, creating content, literally just revisiting some of those ideas, building some of the brands that I really wanted to get off the ground. And that's exactly what it became for me. It literally work, with my kids, of course, in the space. And yeah, that's a whole new story.
Yeah, man, I mean, there's so many things I want to talk to you about, because I'm interested in that moment where the spark kind of took hold, because you've evolved. You've always been a fantastic actor, and we've kind of known that was always going to come to bear, and it's come to bear on an international scale, which is amazing.
Yes.
But the entrepreneurial self, was there a moment, was there a defining project, or was there something that lit this fire? Because now you've taken that to a completely different level now.
Yeah, I grew up in a family that still is a family of business, a family of entrepreneurs. You know, my late dad, always was that light for us. Like, he was always the guy that literally went beyond, you know. You know, he achieved things that you never expected him to achieve in the most toughest of conditions. So we always grew up seeing that. And I think just entrepreneurship is something that we've got naturally, my brothers and I, just from watching and literally bearing witness to my dad's moves. But now I really can't avoid entrepreneurship. It's like I wake up to figure out how to turn a rand into 5 rands. That's my life, you know, and I'm enjoying it, you know. Practice, once again, you know, practice makes permanent. The more I do it, the better I feel in it, you know, the more comfortable I am in it, from the wine business to now restauranting to so many other layers which are gonna unfold as we go along. But yeah, it's part of what drives me. Honestly, you know, acting is my passion, that's my soul. Storytelling is my life. But outside of that, I can express myself and my passions and legacy, right?
Yeah, well, create that for your family.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be beautiful to see what else will be unfolding in the years to come.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, a lot of people have also lost a little bit of momentum, started off strong, but how have you maintained that motivation throughout this period?
Yeah. You know, I feel I'm a very inspired person. You know, I read a lot, I consume a lot of content. And what I did when lockdown began is I literally went straight to online, you know, like fully. I started doing all these webinar classes just to try and keep that spark alive, you know, especially when it comes to business. But to be honest with you, it's all internal, like, you know, that internal dialogue is the biggest thing you can ever sort of invest in, you know, your relationship with yourself. You know, I think 38 years old, the amount of practice I've had, ideas failing, trying some things not working, some things working, has given me that persistence and that resilience. So my internal dialogue is always about win. You know, it's the win conversation. It's obstacles and defying them and finding solutions. And being a producer, you know, film and TV producer, it's all you do. You try and find solutions to your obstacles and challenges. That refines you.
Yeah.
And we take it for granted that you're actually in practice. It's exercise. So right now I feel like I'm at a point in my life where all of that is coming to a click. It's all seasoning, and now I'm settling into my world as this person, you know, that is really going to take business to a whole new level.
Well, here's something to get excited about. I read an amazing document the other day that said entrepreneurs are only really born in their 40s. So you've barely even gotten started, buddy.
That's absolutely true. Even actors. An average actor's career begins between the age of 35 and 40.
We love the sound of that. I'm dying to find out about the most important role in his life, that of being a father. We're going to get a bit more personal. We're going to continue the chat with Tups. And you need to stick around because lots more inspiration on the way.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's always so good seeing how passions materialize. And we'll hear much more about him later. But speaking of passions, a big thank you once again to Simon, Bradley, Jordan, Keanu, and Matthew, who make up the popular Cape Town band, The Pedestrians, for this time they're spending with us this morning, of course. And now their first song this morning is a personal one after having the privilege to become ambassadors for the U-Turn organization, who are committed to eradicating homelessness. Now, the band was challenged to write this song. And they felt obviously very, very inspired by the idea of giving a voice to the voiceless, and this is when they recorded the song Not Hopeless, which speaks about holding on during tough times. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Pedestrians with Not Hopeless.
Thanks, sir.
See women are on the streets begging for some money just to eat. Ooh, a man with his head in hands, down on his luck, he just needs a chance. Woken up feeling like your head is not your own. Now just imagine that every day you feel alone. You're not hopeless. You're not hopeless. You're not hopeless. No, you're not hopeless. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Woo. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Listen. You are festive all the time. You turn your head away. You think that's easy. You think that's easy. Hey, but just turn and face them. All you have to say is just one simple thing. Yeah, you're not hopeless, no. You're not hopeless. You're not hopeless. You're not hopeless. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Look inside. Look inside. Find the fire. Find the fire. Free your mind. Shine your light. Look inside. Find the fire. Free your mind. Shine your light. Time. You're not hopeless. No, 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 no. You're not hopeless. You're not hopeless. You're not hopeless. No.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast show. Raul, you showed me a move in the ad break, showing me how the
that music just hits you in the hips.
'Cause you're not hopeless. All the dance moves are not hopeless here. Your Feel Good Breakfast show, but you know, we have hope for some good news. Here is your news headlines with Zoe.
It's 7 o'clock. Let's start with your national headlines. Statistics South Africa has published its consumer price index for December 2020, capping off a year which saw an average annual inflation rate of just 3.3%. This is the lowest annual average rate since 2004 and the second lowest since 1969. But 3 food groups recorded above average annual and monthly price increases in December. Meat prices rose by 7.3% from a year ago. Prices in the oils and fats category climbed by 10.2%, and that of sugar, sweets and dessert by 8.4%. And staying with local news, the Department of Basic Education says several provinces have completed the marking of grade 12 exam papers ahead of schedule, and that results will be released on time. The department's Assessment and Examination Director, Priscilla Ugunbanyo, yesterday said over 90% of centres which were scheduled to finalise marking of scripts tomorrow have wrapped up already. Gauteng, Limpopo, KwaZulu-Natal and the Northern Cape have already concluded their work, while the remaining provinces will be rounding up today. And we now move to the US, where US President Joe Biden has begun to undo some of Donald Trump's key policies hours after being sworn in. He tweeted, "There's no time to waste when it comes to tackling the crisis America is facing." Biden signed 15 executive orders aimed at boosting the federal response to the coronavirus crisis, amongst others seizing action to withdraw from the World Health Organization, and launched a 100 days masking challenge, asking people to mask up for 100 days. Other moves reverse the previous administration's stance on climate change, immigration and race relations. And just beyond our own borders, Zimbabwean Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister Sibusiso Moyo succumbed to COVID-19 yesterday as the country battles to contain a spike in cases. 61-year-old Moyo, known for announcing the military intervention in 2017 that ended Robert Mugabe's 37-year rule, died in a Harare clinic. He had a known kidney problem that kept him out of work for long periods as he sought regular dialysis. Moyo, a career soldier, was married to Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission chairperson Lois Matanda Moyo. He is the third Zimbabwean government minister to succumb to COVID-19. And now an item of how opposites attract. It's the biggest cat in the Americas, not threatened by any other animal, but by people. Over 50% of the Argentine jaguar's original habitat has been encroached on over the last century, leaving these magnificent felines with increasingly less space to live, hunt and reproduce. But thanks to crucial work done by Rewilding Argentina, hope is clawing its way back to these big, beautiful cats. Iberá National Park in Argentina's northeastern corner, and some 158,000 hectares in size, is the foundation of the jaguar's comeback in the country. An unorthodox approach to save them was recently taken in this park, matchmaking a captive female with a wild male. The unusual courtship of Tanya, brought up in a zoo, and Karamta from the wild began around a specially constructed enclosure for Tanya. After time, their affectionate nuzzling and purring assured handlers they would not fight. Once Tanya was in season, Karamta was allowed into the enclosure. Tanya and Karamta subsequently spent some days together, swimming, sleeping and playing. It's been a match made in heaven, and Tanya is now closely being monitored for any signs of pregnancy. Encouraging news indeed, and we are holding thumbs for Tanya and Karamta and will certainly keep you updated. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take another look at your sport.
We start with cricket, and one win has been chalked up. The Proteas women recorded a narrow 3-run victory over Pakistan's ladies in the first one-day international at the Kingsmead Stadium in Durban. Pakistan won the toss, elected to field, and South Africa posted 200 for 9 in their 50 overs. Razan Kapp posting 47 and Laura Wolfart posting 40 runs as the pair finished as the top batters for the Proteas on the day. Pakistan then failed to reach that target, posting 197 for 8. South Africa winning by the narrowest of margins, just 3 runs there. Then lots to get excited about on the rugby sevens front. Sevens will be returning to the desert this December after organisers of the Dubai Sevens have confirmed that the tournament will take place from the 2nd to the 4th of December this year. The Ritzboks were, of course, the last team to win the tournament in Dubai in the World Rugby Sevens Series in 2019 after the remainder of the 2020 tournament was cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic. And this year's tournament is expected to feature more teams than ever before and will also feature cricket for the very first time. On to footballing news, plenty to catch up on after our midweek action in the Premier Soccer League last night. Cape Town City beat Black Leopards 2-0. TS Galaxy, they thrashed Maritzburg United 3-0. And Baraka FC, they overcame Stellenbosch 3-2. In other results, still winless in search of that very elusive win. Orlando Pirates and Golden Arrows, they played out to a goalless draw at the Orlando Stadium. Subu Sport United and Amazulu ended on 1-1. And the impressive Swallows this season, they squandered the chance to go top of the table, being held to a 1-1 draw against Chipper United. Then a little further afield, Manchester United have returned to the top of the English Premier League standings. That was after recording a 2-1 victory over Fulham at Craven Cottage last night. Goals by Edison Cavani and Paul Pogba, enough to confirm the win for the Red Devils. In other results, Manchester City continue the charge. They beat Aston Villa 2-0 at the Etihad. Man United now top the table on 40 points, with City in second place with 38 points, but of course still that game in hand. Then defending Premier League champions Liverpool, they'll be in action later tonight. They face the ever dangerous prospect of Burnley, and that's at 10 p.m. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take another take at the weather.
Thank you, Graham. Well, let's quickly also look at your weather forecast and those beautiful sunrise photos that you've been sending through. A big thank you that we've received them via our Expresso Facebook page. Starting off with Joan Cameron, who sent us this morning's glow from Britannia Bay in the Western Cape. A partly sunny and pleasant day is forecasted for your part of the country today, heading towards a maximum of 24 degrees. Mpumelelo Nka from Pietermaritzburg got a little creative, focusing on a flower in the foreground of his sunrise pic. Pietermaritzburg, you will have plenty of sunshine today, peaking at a max of 30 degrees. Thank you to each and every one of you for sending through your beautiful sunrise photos and for taking the time to do so. We really do enjoy seeing your parts of the world, and please continue to share it with us on the Expresso Facebook page. Some news regarding our dams. The Vaal Dam inspires optimism for a continuous water supply with a substantial increase in its levels. The government has announced, now this as the dam's levels rose to 74.5% this week from 55.5% during the same week last year and from 65.3% from last week. The integrated Vaal River system, which Gauteng particularly relies on, has scored from the strength of major dams being replenished to decent levels after recent rainfall. The Grootdraai Dam broke the 100% mark. The Bloemhof Dam's levels increased to a remarkable 108% this week, and the Sterkfontein Dam presently stands at 96.2%. Well, that's where we leave your headlines regarding the weather, the dam levels. Let's quickly take a look at what you can expect in your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane today, a low of 16 with a high of 26. Mbombela 18 reaching a high of 30. Partly cloudy in Pretoria with a high of 32. Sunny conditions in Johannesburg 15 with a high of 30. Mahikeng 1932. Klerksdorp 1933. Partly cloudy in Kimberley with a high of 34. Bloemfontein, your low is 19, your high 31. Partly cloudy in Richards Bay with a high of 29 for today. Pietermaritzburg 18 reaching a high of 30. Durban 23 with a high of 28. Partly cloudy in Mthatha with a high of 30. Sunny in East London, 18 with a low of 21. If you're in Craddock today, 18 is your low, 38 your high. Sunny conditions in Port Elizabeth with a low of 20, a high of 27. George, 18, reaching a high of 26. Cape Town, 18 with a high of 27. If you're in Worcester today, a hot day on the cards, a low of 18, reaching a high of 39. Sutherland, 17, reaching a high of 33. And the hottest place today in South Africa will be Uppington with a low of 27 and a high of 40 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather for now. A final update will be coming your way shortly after 8.
Thank you so much, Zoe Brown. Raul, what's happening? Just a quick change?
I needed to warm up because I'm going head-to-head with Thapelo himself. Mokoena is coming live at you, and we've got to work out, so I needed to get prepped for it.
Listen, we are ready for all of that. We're also ready for a story of hope, and I think South Africa definitely needs us. And since the beginning of lockdown, Chad Nathan, a photographer and videographer from Sea Point, Cape Town, has been documenting the effect the coronavirus pandemic has had on the less fortunate in the Western Cape, Gauteng, and Mpumalanga. Now, in working closely with non-profit organizations in Cape Town, namely Cans with Purpose, Ladles of Love, Breadline Africa, and Courage, Chad felt it was his responsibility to take action. And with a crowdfunding campaign called Raising Hope, launched on BackaBuddy, Chad set out to raise 100,000 Rand to lend a helping hand to those in need. Well, he's exceeded his own expectations and has raised, wait for it, over 620,000 Rand. Can we get a round of applause for that? That is amazing.
Wow. Chad
is
brother.
joining us now to tell us a bit more about this.
Oh, man, incredible stuff. Brother, you still there? You with us?
I'm with you. Hi, Raul. What's going on, brother?
Oh, it's so good. Last time I saw you was actually in the Bush and Kruger, if I remember correctly, and we had an epic time. But man, since then, I am so proud. What an incredible achievement. You won the show last year, of course, and you just raised, I think, somewhat in the region of 50,000 Rand for these non-profits. And now, man, you have absolutely raised the bar, reaching well beyond that initial 100,000 Rand goal, man, and jumping to over 500,000 Rand. How, man? How does it feel?
Yeah.
Guys, it is absolutely crazy. I remember being on the show last year, and when you guys called and you said, Chad, you've just raised 100,000, like, it was just an amazing thing that we as South Africa and, you know, people from around the world, that we came together in a time like this to help. And it's just been amazing watching the campaign grow month by month. I mean, it's been going for 8 months, and to see that people are still giving in a time like this, you know, people losing jobs and everything, it's been amazing that people want to still help. It's really epic, eh?
Truly.
I remember having this conversation with you. It was roughly March and April, and you were so just passionate about this, and to actually see how it all came together, reaching this goal, is so amazing to see. But also what people don't know is that you've been on the ground. You've actually seen the severity of the situation, of families going without food. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the motivating factor behind all of this. You know, what struck a chord with you, and what really has kept you going to continue this good work that you do?
So for me, like, I mean, we all know South Africa faces a lot of poverty, and with COVID hitting, it was just, you know, it was going to just be hit 10 times worse. A lot of people losing their jobs. And I think, you know, guys, for me, seeing the people, you know, on the road and literally digging in the dustbins and being hungry really struck a chord with me. And I wanted to help these people. And, you know, the responsibility of a photographer, I'm shooting and capturing these stories, and it was emotional to see how people were really just begging for help, and, you know, really breaking down on camera saying to me, Chad, we need help. And by me putting these stories on social media, I knew I couldn't just, like, you know, just put them on social media. I had to take action. And, you know, guys, just for me, the support has been absolutely amazing. And I really wanted to help these people. I wanted to make sure every person that I was filming, whether it be the refugees, whether it be a community in Langa or Hanover Park, anywhere in Western Cape, Gauteng, I wanted to make sure those people were going to benefit. And that's why I started Raising Hope.
Yeah. Now, Chad, I must commend you on what I've experienced when I've been around you and seen how you work. Brother, you really are taking action. You're on the ground, and I've never seen someone work harder, especially when it comes to trying to document and showcase the story that you do. So I have no reservations when it comes to what your next achievement and goal is. And I believe you're aiming to raise another, what is it, like 400,000 Rand to support local feeding schemes. So tell me more about this next initiative.
So guys, we at 620,000. Of course, there's been a little bit of donor fatigue, but I've been coming up with a few things to keep people donating. And we're on the road to R1 million. I'm pretty sure we're going to hit it. I'm hoping in the next 2 or 3 months. It's hard, but for the way I've been doing it is that I've been partnering up with really amazing brands and lodges around South Africa. For instance, I've been doing giveaways on my Instagram. So if people go to my Instagram, Ginger with a GoPro, they'll be able to see all the initiatives that we run and all the giveaways that we run. So basically what I'll do, I'll run, let's say, a giveaway for a week with the Game Reserve in South Africa, where we'll actually give away a 20,000 Rand giveaway. So you and your partner, you and a friend, you and your mom, your dad, you can win a 2-night stay at a Game Reserve. All you have to do is basically donate 50 Rand, just 50 Rand. That gets you one entry, and you can stand a chance to, you'll stand a chance to win. I've been doing these giveaways every month. So if people just go onto the page and donate 50 Rand when there's a giveaway, or even when you'll be counted into the draws, and that's my plan. That's how we're gonna raise the next 400,000 Rand.
Well, we certainly believe that you can do that. You've really inspired us with all your work and just your passion and taking action, Chad. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, and keep continuing doing the good work that you're doing out there.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, and just one last thing. If people don't even go into the page, they can also just go onto the Backer Buddy page, www.backerbuddy. I can see the links right over there, and you guys will see the page, and you'll see all the donations that have come in from around the world. And yeah, just thank you so much for all the support and all the love.
Oh,
amazing.
Pleasure.
That
Can
is
you believe it?
35 non-profit organizations and communities across the country that Chad has helped and has literally made life a little easier for them. So continue doing the good work, Chad.
Here's to you. Can't work from home workers. Board terminator. Cause every meeting key, I'll be back. The mask forgetting shoppers. And you who go the extra mile instead of keeping just 1.5 meters. To you who opened your doors again, we take our hats off. Nina who kept us moving 100%. And of course, the no Mayini general dealers. You might not be essential workers, Mara, you too played an essential role in keeping Mzansi working. And that's why we're giving you a chance to win your share of 5 million Rand. Join Nedbank today.
welcome back. Of course, you're still locked in. It's your feel-good breakfast show. And indeed, we've got something special coming for you now. For many men, the holy grail of fitness is, of course, the six-pack. And having washboard abs is not only about looking good and giving your confidence a boost when going topless, but having a six-pack has many benefits too. Now, it's said that a set of six-pack abs is the ultimate indicator of fitness too, believe it or not. Now, a strong core will also improve your performance in sport, prevent lower back injuries, improve your posture, and also enhance flexibility. So there's a lot of practicality to this too. So this morning, myself and our special guest actor, Thapelo Mokoena, will be showing us how you can get some washboard abs. Brother, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'm going to try my best, but look at what I'm doing. So
look, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm kind of like fangirling out here on you because I see you online and I've been inspired by your acting game, and the fact that you're able to maintain this physique is what I'm absolutely impressed by. So, Mzansi, you guys at home, I've been chatting to the man himself, and we put something together on how you can replicate this look, all right? So, you ready? We're going to do this together. We're going to start on the ground, and what I like about this is the fact that when I've come into this industry, and I know it's nowhere near compared to you, time is of the essence.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to working out, not only are we working out the abs, but I like to add in some extra bits and bobs.
That's me, man.
So efficiency is key, right?
That's me, and
so
also like layering the workouts. I really like multiple workouts in one workout.
Exactly, you're getting more bang for your buck, essentially. So that's what we're going to do. Although we are targeting the core and trying to replicate that six-pack, we're also going to stimulate other parts of the body. And that's what we're doing right here, right now. So on your knees, you're going to have your hands on the ground, supporting yourself just underneath the shoulders. So the first grade for anybody starting out with this core exercise, simply take opposite leg and opposite hand, and you bring it straight out into the air while maintaining your balance, and then you bring it straight down to the ground. What you'll feel is a stimulation on the shoulders and the delts, feeling in the glutes as well. How's that booty? So now, if you want to really step this exercise up, right, instead of just having your knee on the ground, what we can do is go into beast mode. What that means is we're lifting our knees off the ground, right? So now that core is getting activated. You're going to see a little bit of a shake.
Tighten it up a little bit too.
Yeah, that's it. Now we want to try and replicate the same thing without falling over. Let's see if we can get it. Ah, that's that six-pack core going through there. The man's not even falling over. Let's try the other side now. Clearly, I'm not going to break him. So I'll join him instead. Let's go for another 2 reps. So basically, what you want to try with this is it's not so much about how many reps you do, but it's more about the time and the quality you put into the movement.
The quality.
So you want to go for at least 45 seconds, making sure you maintain this nice neutral spine over here and those glutes and the core is fully activated throughout this workout. 45 seconds on, 15 off, and we move over to our next exercise. Let's hit it. So in this position, we can stay right here, and again, the element and the functionality here is key. So I'm using the upper body as well as the core and making it work in conjunction with each other. So we're going into a high bridge now. So again, nice neutral spine. Man, I don't even have to cue you. It's like I'm just too easy, man. All right, so what we're going to do is go for a standard push-up. All the way down, but now as we're raising our body up, we're going to bring our inside leg to the side of our body as we push up. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful stuff. We're going to hit that oblique on the side here. That's the Levi line.
Nice, I like that.
You got way too many of that. And then we're going to go over to the other side. So let's go for a push-up, and then bring the other leg up now. And then bring it back down into a push-up. Yeah. So what this is doing, and not only working that oblique, we're obviously also working the pecs and the shoulders.
Yeah, so covering the entire core.
Yeah, man, and that's how you get Mokoena live ready, of course, brothers. If you see the man's six-pack, you're going to know this is where the magic is happening. All right, so we're going to step it up now. This is the last one I want to show everybody. Again, so we hit the core with functionality, and we're moving over to the third exercise. With each of these workouts, I think time is always valuable, especially when it comes to your game. So you want to get the most out of the shortest amount of time.
There's always time too. You make time.
Make time, make it happen.
You got 5 minutes. There's so much you can do in that 5 minutes.
Truly, truly. So the last one, what we're going to do is going to go for a push-up. After we've done that push-up, we're going to rotate our body to the side. All right. From here, dip the hip down to the ground, and then straight back up, back into that push-up for a roll. You ready for it?
Ready,
All right, let's go together. Let's go for a push-up. All right. Now let's rotate to the side. Hand up. Now lower that hip. Yeah, straight back. And then into your push-up again. Beautiful stuff, man. And now over to the other side. Trip it down all the way low, all the way up, and then straight down to the bottom, and then into a push-up. Simple as that, man.
I'll be here every morning from this morning, tomorrow.
Obviously inspiring us all, man. And again, I got to say, it's so impressive to see how you are handling, how you are managing, but more importantly, how your passion just materializes in everything you touch.
Quality of life.
So I think we've got to give the proof in the pudding, of course, and this is how you get a pair of these. And you guys better stick around for more. Shot, brother.
I just want to thank the producers right now for picking Zoe and I for this job because we really love what we do, everybody. Now, from one chocolate to the next chocolate, introducing our Be Well Vegan Chocolate Cashew Squares. It is fudgy, dense, and delicious. These no-bake treats are a great hack and, of course, completely vegan too, which we love. And it is packed with creamy cashews, decadent dates, and the goodness of Be Well canola oil. This is a treat not to be missed, like the one we just saw now. But, of course, our own treat is also
We're making our own treat because, unfortunately, you know, sometimes you just have to make things work for yourself. So we're going to start off with, if you have a food presser at home, or we're actually just using this and just blitzing it up, our ingredients. We're starting off with some cashews. I've got a couple of dates here, and this is really going to add that chewiness to our squares and a bit of sweetness. Now, as you can see, our dates have been soaking a little bit just in some warm water, just to really get that flavor and a bit of juice out of it. So the whole idea is I'm trying to pour it in here as neatly as possible. And that doesn't always happen, but you know what? This is how you do it, because it is one of those easy recipes. I'm not going to fill it in just yet. We'll see if there's space for the leftover dates. We're going to add some coconut.
Ooh, I love that. I love the flavor profiles that we're going with for this.
I know.
The squares.
Adding some sea salt. There we go. A little bit of vanilla essence. I just love vanilla essence. It really just adds that a little bit. You said it's a bit too sweet for you, but it works really, really well. And then, of course, we are using our Be Well canola oil. Only 1 teaspoon. And what's great about this is Be Well canola oil is naturally cholesterol-free. It is also endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa. There we go. And then, do you think we should add more dates?
You can never go.
Let's add more dates.
Let's add more dates.
Let's have a date so early in the morning. There we go. And then we're going to blitz it up. If you find that your texture is a little bit maybe dry, then you can simply just add a tablespoon of water or a teaspoon of water, just to really get that mixture a bit softened up. There we go.
There you go.
I'm going to do is give it a bit of a shake, maybe add a little bit of water and really just get that mixture a little bit more moist.
This is us working out after the boys' workout. This is us just shaking
This is our little workout. There we go. Just a little teaspoon. You don't want too much liquids in there. I'm going to actually add a little bit more.
Keep it nice and moist as well.
Keep it flowed. You know, if you find you need to add more, rather go back than regret adding too much liquid to your mixture. There we go. Giving it a good shake. And then we're blitzing it up. There we go.
It's going slowly. It's like it's a process. It is
a process.
And now we know we just need to add a little bit more and maybe just shake it a bit more.
There we go. So Jamie, I'm going to actually leave you with that task.
Okay.
Just to really, I'm going to ask you to actually just use the spoon, bring some of the ingredients we haven't mixed just to the top, and I'm going to start over here with our base. In fact, we need to add this. There we go.
Okay, I feel like that's good enough, right?
There we go. Let's give it another bit of a mix.
Yeah.
One last mix, and this is the one.
It smells so good.
Are you getting this, the fragrance and the texture of the dates?
The dates is coming through. Not too much of the vanilla essence, which is perfect. So
subtle. Yeah, it's subtle. So the whole process is blending up right and nice. Naturally, you will have it completely blended, but I'm going to show you now what you will do. Once it's all blended like that, we're going to add it to our little breadcrumb here. I'm calling it a breadcrumb, but it's a biscuit crumb. There we go.
And just that texture as well coming through, that you have the dates, you have those cashew nuts coming through, so it's going to be nice. And the fact that it's so simple and easy, you don't have to bake it at all.
Yes, and of course you just want it blended. You don't you want texture in your squares. So some of our nuts haven't mixed as well as we had.
We like a lot of texture.
But there you go. Can you see what's happening? It's really, this is what's going to be the base of our square.
That looks good. I would eat it just like that. I wouldn't even need to pop it in anywhere, just like that.
There we go. And now we simply put it into our tray. Make sure you spray it with a little bit of Be Well canola oil. Just give it a good little spray. You line it with a baking sheet and make sure the sheets are popped out. And then we're going to simply add it into our little dish and make sure that you press it nice and tight, and that will really give it that little compact that you need for the square. There we go.
And I like that useful tip that you just mentioned is letting the paper up above, because what happens is once it's set and gets hard, it's difficult to pull the paper from the fudge. So this is a perfect Thank you so much for that, Zoe.
There we go. So there we go. Of course, it all depends on how much texture you want. We are going for a little bit more of a rustic texture where you'll be able to taste all the ingredients we're putting into our squares. But you can also just then process it a little bit more, blend it up a bit more. But look what I'm doing now. I'm literally just pushing it into our tray. The lining of this baking paper will also really just make it so much easier to take our product out once it has set. There we go. We've got our nice and fun. And then simply we're going to use our melted chocolate and then just simply drizzle it over. Make sure we pop it into the fridge for 2 hours to set. And then a nice little tip to cut it out is to make sure that your knife is nice and warm. That way you can get perfect little slices without ruining the chocolate. And then always you can just use a little bit of hot water and warm up your knife.
There we go. Gorgeous, decadent living for this. And that's the end result over on that side.
There we go. So obviously just make sure your chocolate's spread everywhere. If you want to have less chocolate, more of a bit of a drizzle, you can do that. But at the end of the day, we had our kitchen fairies complete this dish for you, and you can see that they spread the chocolate evenly all across. So just pop this dish into the fridge for 2 hours and you have your vegan squares.
There we go, no baked treats. And if you want to get your hands on this recipe, expressoshow.com is where you'll find it.
I want to taste one.
Be well, love, food, life.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, every morning we ask you to take a snapshot of your sunrise so we can see what your part of the country looks like. Now, while we do have our regular photographers contributing, Fatah Khan, Nick Lombard, all of you amazing people, it's never too late to join in on the fun. And now, I'm not sure how to best capture a sunrise photo. Well, fear not, because Grant is here to show you the tricks of the trade. And we are excited to see how the magic works.
Because this is your real house. But I don't know, do you take a lot of sunrise and sunset photos?
I have in the past, and it's something that's actually quite hard to do, because I think it's one of those things where people go like, it looks amazing, I'm going to take a photograph, and then it always just comes out kind of average.
It never matches what you're seeing in reality,
it's like an experience that, you know, where people go like, oh, like, I promise it was good. Like, you had to be there.
It was there. We were on the mountain. It was amazing. So what we're going to do now is you're going to give us some play-by-play, some simple rules of thumb that we can utilize to be able to take a great sunrise photo.
So I'm going to give you some simple rules on how to do it, and these apply to a lot of photography. So if you're taking anything at home, take note of these. I want to see better sunrise photos on Expresso going forward, okay? You're going to get marked on your test. This is externally invigilated, and then I'm going to be showing you a couple of sunrise photos which are good, and I'm going to break down a couple of things that we may have mentioned here and show you why.
Show them in practice.
Okay. So the first thing is, if you are using a manual camera, not many people are, you make sure that you use a high aperture so that you can capture the sunshine. But, look, most people won't be taking photos of the sunrise for Expresso on a DSLR or a big camera. And the main reason is because you probably wake up and you're like, this is a good idea. I'm just going to pull out what I've got with me, right? So obviously, like changing camera settings like your ISO and your aperture is really important to make sure that you get that. But there are a lot of other ones. Like a lot of people just think they can take the photo of the sunset. But there's no subject matter else inside it except for the sunset. I say expand your subject matter. So what that means is that if you're with somebody, make sure that they're kind of in frame, cropping in frame. Oh, if there's a palm tree. Actually, there was a photo this morning which I thought was really good. Somebody took it from their window. There's a few palm trees that are in the foreground. It creates a little bit of depth and gives you to focus. You can be out of focus and give you some context as to how big it is. Because a lot of photos, when you take them, especially a sunset, you go like, this is nice, but it's small. You know? But when you have a person in the photo, you go, wow, that's an expansive sky. You know, like that's exciting.
Great, I like that.
There's something called the rule of thirds in photography. I'm literally, this is a crash course in the first 6 months of like photo school. So if you guys are taking notes, the rule of thirds is if you can break up your shot or your photograph into 3, it has to fit neatly into either the left-hand side, the right-hand side, or the center of the side, or a combination of those. Full, all 3 of them, 2 of them, 1 of them. You catch what I'm saying? So you want to use the rule of thirds. Often the best example of that is just the sunset directly in the middle of the frame, and then maybe the horizon line like straight with the bottom of the shot. But you can also have I want to see some people who are taking photographs of the sunrise tomorrow, like keep it on maybe on the right-hand side, so you see the sky on the left and the sun on the far right.
Show a bit of contrast.
I do sound like a teacher, right?
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I would have loved to have had you as a teacher back in the day.
I think a part of me would have loved to have been a teacher. The other thing is focus manually if you can. A lot of people take the shot, they'll have the person in the foreground, they'll be like, this is great, Grant said take the person in the foreground, and then the person's in focus, but the sunrise isn't.
It's lost.
So you want to do that. And then the other thing is just to make sure that you keep shooting. So a lot of, especially with sunrises, the colors change all the time. Even like it's live, right? It's happening. It might seem slow to you, but the colors are definitely changing. So here are some of the photos that I think are really cool. Here's a rule of thirds that is happening. You can see that the sun is at the top third of the picture. And there's a way more dramatic shot than it would be if it was just in the center.
That reflection of the water really does give it context.
Did you
That's
take
beautiful.
this?
No, I did not. I did try to go take photos this morning, but everywhere's closed, unfortunately. This is a stunning sunrise photo. I don't really expect that. There's obviously a lot of colors. And this is an example of somebody that obviously has done something with their ISO and their aperture, because you can see there's like mist in the water. That's actually water spray. But the colors are coming because they've decided to carry on shooting. They probably took 100 photos here to get this particular one, and it's because the colors were perfect at this particular moment.
In that instant.
Yeah, and here's another example, a straight horizon line, a rule of thirds, the sun is in the center of the picture, and it's just brilliant. It's just, you can see there's just, even with clouds, it doesn't need to be a clear sky.
The beams of light are almost as powerful as the sunrise itself or the sunset. And we've got some of the most beautiful vistas to be able to create these photos in our country, so let's do it, man. We want to hear from you guys. Go and take a break, figure out a new pose maybe, as we'll be talking about creating better self-portraits in just a moment. I'm sure that's got you excited.
Oh, well, let's take a look at what's happening in the world of social media. You know, every morning we ask you a very interesting question, and we love seeing what you have to say about it.
We do indeed, of course, and we reached out to you, Mzansi, and asked you to share what you think the best picture is that you have ever taken, of course. And you guys came through with the magic, and we've got something to show off for the rest of Mzansi. We're starting off with Kiosk Key coming through with something special. Looks like an evening picture. Somewhat of a long expo there, but very, very dramatic. I absolutely love that. And in its perspective there, awesome, awesome, awesome.
And there's something about a picture that has clouds. I really like that. It always adds like a moody element to your picture. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and next up we got Luke Davies coming through with a serene, what looks like almost perfect looking Washington, D.C. taken in 2018 near the Capitol building, which I believe was really, really packed in the last few days as well. Looks
That is
absolutely
amazing.
awesome.
Loving the reflections from the water. Next one, we also have one from Natasha Latsky, who shared this gorgeous sunrise with us. Just
Wow.
look at the colors.
Wow.
Okay, I
That
can see why.
Yeah,
It's a
the
favorite.
reflection on the water. I think they were listening to Grant Hines for sure. You nailed this one. Absolutely love it.
Next up, we have this one from Ursula Joseph, who sent us this one, and she said, did my own Christmas shoot with my girls last year. This is one of my favorites. How cute, playing around with fairy lights.
Yeah, I love this. I think with fairy lights, you can bring anything to life. It always looks so cool. And last we've got Vilma, actually. Vilma Liederman coming through with a beautiful, it looks like the afterburn from a sundowner. It looks absolutely stunning. I love these pinks. They're so, so serene. Wow.
That's my favorite because there's something about the pinks and the purples
Yeah.
and all of that. Do you have a favorite pic?
This is me. That's my favorite pic.
Where was that
me
taken?
out in the Kruger in the middle of nowhere, stargazing on what seemed like a night which just purely humbled me. You really, really find your place amongst everything when you look up at the stars. It was such a cosmic experience. Oh.
What a stunning photo to capture all of those stars. I mean, that's something that when you take an evening picture, it always disappears. You don't always get that detail. So
Yeah.
well done on the photography skills.
A definite favorite, of course. So,
Yeah.
But you guys, of course, have been absolute gems. Thank you for bringing the magic. Keep sending us all your messages. Share the love. And share your favorite shots of the day, what you think is the best, and we'll keep engaging with you guys. But thank you for the magic. Keep it coming.
Now, I think we've got a lot to be proud of as South Africans, and now we can also add awesome telescope to our already long list of accomplishments. I'm talking about our powerful Meerkat telescope, which was used in the discovery of 2 giant radio galaxies recently. These galaxies are amongst the largest single objects in the universe and are thought to be quite rare. Now, Dr. Jacinta Del Hayes, who's an astronomer and host of the Cosmic Savannah podcast, but more importantly, today she joins us as the lead author on this particular project. A very good morning, Jacinta. How are you?
Morning, Graham. I'm well, thanks.
Exciting times. We love it. We love seeing science come together in this way, especially when so much has been invested into a project like Meerkat. You were the lead author on this project, so congratulations on that feat alone. How does it feel to have discovered these rarities?
Thanks. Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, when you start a science project, you have no idea whether it's going to be successful or not, and a lot of the times it's not. So to have one that is actually successful is really exciting, and I feel a little bit like a proud galaxy mum.
Dr. Jacinta, what in layman's terms are radio galaxies, and why are these newly discovered ones so special? Why is there this buzz?
So galaxies are collections of stars and gas and dust and dark matter and a supermassive black hole at the center. Just like in the Milky Way, we have a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A star. But in radio galaxies, there's stuff falling in towards the black hole. So gas and dust, it's heating up to enormous temperatures. And as this is happening, highly charged particles like electrons are accelerated to nearly the speed of light. And they get caught up in the twisted magnetic fields around the supermassive black hole, and they go streaming off into space in these huge jets or beams of light. And they glow but not in the optical light like what we can see with our eyes, but in the radio light. And that's why we can pick them up with radio telescopes. The biggest of these are called giant radio galaxies.
So what does the discovery of these 2 giant radio galaxies with the Meerkat telescope actually mean? Do you think there are more in it? Well, surely in an infinite universe there are more of them, but why is this so important?
First of all, it's exciting because they are some of the biggest of the biggest, the 2 that we have found. They are bigger than 93% of other giant radio galaxies.
Wow.
So they are about 6.5 million light years across, which is about 62 times the diameter of the Milky Way. So these are really enormous beasts. And it's just exciting the fact that we can even detect them, because until now, telescopes haven't been able to detect objects that are so big and so faint. And Meerkat is the first of its kind that can detect them. So yes, we think that there are going to be many more out there. And this is exciting because this is going to help us understand what impact these radio jets have on the host galaxies. Are they killing the galaxies? Are they blowing out the gas and preventing star formation? So it's an exciting time for science, and particularly in South Africa.
Very much so. I'm glad that you said here in South Africa, because we've become kind of our own little mini epicenter of our own galaxy at the moment. I love it. What else are you looking for with Meerkat? What is the next big discovery you're expecting, or is it still anything could be discovered and that's what's so exciting?
Exciting discoveries are coming out very regularly with Meerkat, and some of the most exciting are the unknown unknowns. So these are the things that you don't know are out there and aren't looking for, yet suddenly find. These giant radio galaxies are sort of unknown unknowns. We didn't expect to find them. And we hope to find many more of them in the survey that we are running called Mighty. As that's continuing, we hope to find more. And this is leading up to the SKA, of course, the Square Kilometre Array Telescope, to be built partly in Southern Africa and partly in Australia. And we think that's going to revolutionise our understanding of radio astronomy and of galaxy evolution as a whole. So unlock all of the mysteries about how galaxies have changed over cosmic time.
I've got to say, normally when I discuss space, I feel absolutely infinitely small, but right now I feel pretty big. You've got to be so proud of the leaps and bounds we've been making here in South Africa, but as a science fraternity at the moment, it feels like this is the age for new discovery in science.
Yeah, it really is the golden age of radio astronomy, and South Africa is right at the centre of it. It's very world leading, so we should all be very proud.
And I think you should be very proud of being the lead author in this case. Enjoy delving into all of the wonderful permutations, the things that you are going to learn around this new discovery, and here's to many more like this over the next year. At least we can't wait to connect with you again when you make another discovery, but enjoy this one while it lasts, and thank you so much for taking the time this morning.
Thank you very much.
We've been talking about the discovery of two of the biggest, in fact, radio galaxies with South Africa's powerful Meerkat telescope, and of course getting the inside scoop from Dr. Jacinta Delhaize, who is the lead author on this work. And if you want to learn more, you can always check out Jacinta's brilliant podcast, The Cosmic Savannah.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. I'm actually just buzzing at the moment, relishing having the opportunity to hang out with South African actor, filmmaker, TV presenter, entrepreneur Thapelo Mokoena, who will be telling us a bit more about his latest business ventures during lockdown and beyond that, and how he manages to balance everything and still be a really cool dad. Because that seems to be, I mentioned that earlier, probably your most important role. I think like most guys out there. I can only speak from my perspective. But what a magical year because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a beautiful journey, man. Like, I almost, I always say to myself, I don't know what I did with my time before this journey of fatherhood. So it's really, really phenomenal. I miss my kids.
Yeah.
I've been in Cape Town now a week and a half on this film project. But yeah, what's life without them, right?
Yeah, there's kind of before and after, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you find that balance? As a parent, you've got all of your own ambitions, but also, finding that balance. I know you had that time with your kids during lockdown,
Yes.
but what's your plan going back into work mode?
Man, work one has never stopped.
Yeah.
It's just that now I'm back onto my project. I'm back in front of the camera. But, I'm of the mind that we all work with the same 24 hours. The billionaire also has the same 24 hours as myself, and it's just optimizing on that 24 hours. I have to make the time. Thank God for the digital era, because I can FaceTime my kids every day. It's all I do. I think they're over it, but I'm like...
You need it, yeah.
Pick up the phone. Don't put it down. I can't see you. Hold it properly, But you find time and you make time, It's what we do with the 24 hours that matters most. I have to run businesses. I have to oversee my businesses. I have to read scripts. I'm leaving here to go straight onto my movie set. That's got to go down. I got to get in some fitness. It's just, what do? You make it work. You optimize your 24 hours.
And I suppose you live with the sacrifices that you have to make along the way, because that's what you've got to do. There is a future goal. Let's talk about some of those businesses right now.
Yeah.
It's difficult to know where to begin with you at the moment, because it feels like every time I get an update from you, I go onto your Insta page, there's something new. You're either on your bike or you're starting a new business. Let's talk about grooming.
Yes.
As someone who is very well groomed and is now pushing in the grooming space, the beard's looking good, man.
Yeah.
What's your number one grooming tip for yourself?
For myself, definitely I've got eczema, skin condition.
Oh, really?
So have the products that work for your skin type, one. So understand what skin type you're working with. I'm forced to understand that because, of my work and what I do. But I think I'll just maybe talk about the beard. It's quite key to have a good beard wash, a good beard oil, and a beard butter. It does a lot for us as men, bearded fellas, beard gang. And that's a space I'm trying to move into next, but that's a story for another day. So I think, if anything, let's take care of our beards, brothers.
Yeah, watch that space, man. Watch that space.
I've always been so fascinated with the beard. So how often do you go through that routine?
Probably every day.
Every day?
Yeah, it's quite a simple routine. Doesn't even take a minute of your time. But look, normally when you shower, you've got a beard wash and you start using that to take care of your beard as a man. And the texture of our beards is something we haven't understood for a while, and how to take care of that. So it's quite an interesting journey. And my natural grey sometimes needs to be tamed. So.
Hey, buddy, but it's also become a part of the look
I'm
now.
not complaining.
I think when people book you for a gig, they book the beard, man. They book the beard.
Not complaining.
You're also a restaurant owner, and you've spoken about your love of cooking now during lockdown.
Yes.
Have you always been passionate about food, and was restauranteering always on the cards?
Absolutely not on the cards.
Really?
But as business would have it, the journey of how humans interact, has resulted in us opening this restaurant. Good friend of mine, Milan, had this idea to open this amazing restaurant in this amazing location at the Cradle of Humankind in Joburg.
Doesn't get much better.
16th of December, Molitva was born, and now we open, and it's such an amazing journey for us. I was never a foodie. I still think I'm not really a foodie, but I'm conscious of what I eat. I'm very conscious about how I eat and what I eat. So that has sort of raised the consciousness and awareness when it comes to food. And then, of course, our restaurant is where we express it.
Yeah.
That's our main thing. The real star of the show.
You've got somewhere where you can go and eat for free whenever you want, which is...
Well, and that. So yeah.
I think there are a lot of people, sitting here and have been forced with this lockdown to reevaluate how else can I make a business or something that's been on the back burner.
Yeah.
How can I make that work? For someone that's gone through different business adventures, what advice can you leave them with for today to really just take that chance and start that business?
Well, if you don't take that chance, and if you don't take that risk, as it's called, you'll never know. You'll never see the other side. So one is, we got to take these ideas that we have in our heads and express them somehow. one of the books I read, there was a line that went something like, "There's no such thing as a bad idea. There's bad execution." You know, I've focused a lot of what I do on the execution. So yes, we all have great ideas to start great businesses and do great things, but what is your execution plan? So the only thing I really advise is that tap into that plan, assess that plan, because that's what's going to determine the outcome, you know. And I think with practice, like I said earlier, you start getting better at executing these ideas and making them come to life.
And expect to fail and that to become a part of the journey, man. That's
100%,
part of it.
100%.
I'm going to give you time to think about something because you do wear many hats, and I mean that literally. You wear a different hat literally every single day. I want you to answer that a little later. How many hats do you actually own in this world? But Tups is going to stick around. We're going to put him in the kitchen and actually see how much of a foodie he is in just a moment. Stick around.
Well, the Feel Good continues here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show because we are still live with multi-genre Cape Town-based band, The Pedestrians. The gifted 5-piece band are well loved within the industry for their flawless beats and amazing vocals. They'll now perform the song Say Yes. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you.
Very simple song. I don't want you guys to sing along with me wherever you are. All you gotta do is say yes. Hey. I know you're nervous, babe. I'm nervous too. The world is scary, girl, but we will make it through. Open your eyes, I'll tell you no lies. We will make it through. I'm not asking too much. All I'm asking you is to say yes, say yes. Nobody can stop us. Say yes, we'll go higher than the highest. Say yes, take my hand so we can just light up the night. I can take you there. I know you feel it, babe. I feel it too. The way the waves are crashing into you. We'll be alright. I'll make you this promise tonight. I'm not asking too much. I've gotta make sure you understand. I'm not asking too much. All I'm asking you is to say yes, say yes. Nobody can stop us. Say yes, we'll go higher than the highest. Take my hand so we can just light up the night. I can take you there. Say yes. Nobody can stop us. We'll go higher than the highest. Take my hand so we can just light up the night. I can take you there. I really just wanna dance. Baby, just give me your hand. We'll party till the start of the day. Just give me a chance. I really just wanna dance. Baby, just give me your hand. We'll party till the start of the day. Baby, just give me a chance. Say yes, we'll go higher than the highest. Take my hand so we can just light up the night. I can take you there. Say yes. Nobody can stop me. Say yes, we'll go higher than the highest. Say yes. Take my hand so we can just light up the night. I can take you
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. This is still your feel-good breakfast show right here on SABC3. Happy Thursday to all of you.
Yeah, happy Thursday indeed, and you want to stay tuned because we are going to find out some fascinating feeding methods from some whales, and I'm going to be chatting to a Two Oceans aquarium specialist on that. But before we do, let's find out what's happening with the latest in the news.
Well, here's a final look at the news, starting with national news. The National Education, Health and Allied Workers Union, NEHAWU, yesterday said Higher Education Minister Blade Mzimande's proposal that universities must develop their own safety plans regarding the return of workers is concerning. NEHAWU's General Secretary Zola Sepeta said it could open a window for abuse of workers by various uncaring institutions who potentially would recall more than 50% of workers back to unsafe COVID-19 campuses. This after 3,088 cases, of which 1,499 were staff and 1,588 were students, and 58 deaths were recorded at universities last year. And staying with local news, Statistics South Africa has published its Consumer Price Index for December 2020, capping off a year which saw an average annual inflation rate of just 3.3%. This is the lowest annual average rate since 2004 and the second lowest since 1969. But 3 food groups recorded above average annual and monthly price increases in December. Meat prices rose by 7.3% from a year ago. Prices in the oils and fat category climbed by 10.2%, and that of sugar and sweets and desserts by 8.4%. We now move beyond our own borders, where French President Emmanuel Macron says France could adjust its operations in Africa's Sahel region following successes against jihadist groups. Macron said the arrival of special forces from other European countries would allow France to make changes, but gave the assurance that efforts to maintain stability and victory against the jihadists would be maintained. More than 5,000 French troops have been serving in support of forces of Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso and Chad. So far, 50 French soldiers have died in action. And we move to the US, where US President Joe Biden has begun to undo some of Donald Trump's key policies, hours after being sworn in. He tweeted, "There's no time to waste when it comes to tackling the crisis America is facing." Biden signed 15 executive orders aimed at boosting the federal response to the coronavirus crisis, amongst others seizing action to withdraw from the World Health Organization and launching a 100 days masking challenge, asking people to mask up for 100 days. Other moves reverse the previous administration's stance on climate change, immigration and race relations. And now some news of the recipients of a top London Design Award. 3 bright pink seesaws that allow people to interact over the American-Mexico border has won the prestigious London Design Museum's Design of the Year award. 3 pink seesaws were placed in the gaps in the wall and allowed children and even some adults from 2 countries to play together. The creators of the seesaws, Ronald Rail, a professor of architecture at the University of California's Berkeley campus, and Virginia San Fratello, an associate professor of design at San Jose State University, said they were totally surprised by the unexpected honor. They added they hoped the design would help people reassess the effectiveness of borders and encourage dialogue rather than division. After all, Rail said, walls don't stop viruses from moving. We have to think about how we can be connected and be together without hurting each other. The project saw off 70 nominees, which included a 3D rendering of the virus-causing COVID-19 and Lee Ha-yoon's set design from the Oscar-winning South Korean film Parasite. Now, it seems the timing of this award promoting unity among all has come at a very appropriate time in history. Well, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take one final look at your sport.
Thanks so much, Zoe. Let's wrap up those sporting headlines, starting here in South Africa, where the Proteas women have recorded a narrow 3-run victory over Pakistan in the first one-day international that played out at Kingsmead Stadium down in Durban. Pakistan won the toss, elected to field and put South Africa into bat. They posted 200 for 9 in their 50 overs. Razan Kapp posting 47 and Laura Wolfhard posting 40 runs as the pair finished as the top batters for the Proteas on the day. Pakistan failing to reach that target, posting 197 for 8. Giving South Africa that narrow win of just 3 runs. Now, plenty to get excited about in rugby sevens, as sevens will be returning to the desert this December. That was after organisers of the Dubai Sevens confirmed the tournament will take place from the 2nd to the 4th of December this year. The Blitzboks were the last team to win the tournament, in fact, in Dubai. That was in the World Rugby Sevens Series back in 2019. Then 2020's tournament was cut short, cancelled due to the coronavirus pandemic. This year's tournament is expected to feature even more teams than ever before, and will also feature cricket for the very first time. Then plenty of footballing action to catch up on in the Premier Soccer League last night. Cape Town City beat Black Leopards 2-0. TX Galaxy, they thrashed Maritzburg United 3-0, and Baraka FC overcame Stellenbosch 3-2. In other results, still searching for that elusive win, Orlando Pirates and Golden Arrows, they played out to a goalless draw at the Orlando Stadium. SuperSport United and AmaZulu ending in a 1-1 draw there as well. And then our ever-impressive Swallows this season, they squandered the opportunity to go top of the log, being held to a 1-1 draw against Chipper United. Then a little further afield, Manchester United, they are back on top of the English Premier League standings. That was after recording a 2-1 victory over Fulham at Craven Cottage last night. Goals by Edison Cavani and Paul Pogba were enough to confirm the win for the Red Devils. Now, other results on the charge. Manchester City, they beat Aston Villa 2-0 at the Etihad. That means Man United still top the table on 40 points, but Man City in second with 38 points and still a game in hand. Then defending Premier League champions Liverpool, they'll be back in action tonight up against the ever-present danger of Burnley, that one at 10 p.m. That's a wrap of your sport for this morning. Let's take one last look at some of your beautiful sunrise photos and, of course, one last take on the weather.
Well, we love receiving your sunrise photos every day, and today we wrap up our weather report by recapping some of our viewers that sent through their views of the country. A big thank you to Theo Makatini from Joburg, Gloria from Rustenburg, Joan Cameron from Britannia Bay, and Mpumelelo Nka from Pietermaritzburg. Please continue to visit our Expresso Facebook page to share the sunrise views in your area of the country, and we can show it on your Feel Good Breakfast show. A quick weather update. Tropical storm Eloise is set to intensify and could develop into a cyclone. Weather experts say South Africa may experience heavy rains over the next few days. Mozambican authorities are already on high alert. Professor of Climatology at the Global Change Institute at Wits, Francois Engelbrecht, said severe winds and flooding could be possible. He said if the storm was going to move into southern Mozambique and then towards South Africa's eastern escarpment in the northeast, some parts of Limpopo, Mpumalanga and Eswatini could expect some 100 millimeters of rain on Sunday and Monday. Engelbrecht said even up to 200 millimeters of rain was possible in certain areas, bringing with it a distinct possibility of flooding. Well, that's where we leave your weather news for now. Let's quickly take a final look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane today, partly cloudy conditions with a high of 26. Mbombela 18, reaching a high of 30. Pretoria 16, a high of 32. Johannesburg 15 with a high of 30. It's partly cloudy in Mahikeng today with a high of 32. Klerksdorp 19, reaching a high of 33. Partly cloudy in Kimberley with a high of 34. Bloemfontein also reaching a high of 31. It's partly cloudy in Richards Bay with a high of 29. Pietermaritzburg 18 with a high of 30. Durban 23, reaching a high of 28. Mthatha 17, reaching a high of 30. Sunny conditions in East London today, a high of 28. Craddock, a hot day on the cards with a high of 38. If you're in Port Elizabeth, sunny conditions, 20 reaching a high of 27. George 18 reaching a high of 26. The Mother City can expect a low of 18, a high of 27. Worcester 18 with a high of 39. If you're in Sutherland, 17 Ekurhuleni with a high of 33 can be expected for today. And Uppington, the hottest day in South Africa for today, a low of 29 and a high of 40 degrees Celsius. Well, stay hydrated, make sure you wear your sunblock, and if you have any beautiful sunrise photos to share with us, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Thank you so much for that, Zoe. More feel good coming your way right now, because Feed 5,000, an initiative run by the Hope Exchange, is an organization that provides essential services to the growing population of people living on the streets. Now, it has successfully served over 11,000 meals to their clients whilst in lockdown level 3, and even with the second wave upon us. Feed 5,000 ran from the 12th of December 2020 through to the 17th of Jan 2021, and in a time where there's never been a greater need to really just give hope and serve those who are hungry and alone. The director of Hope Exchange, Peter Solomon, joins us now to tell us a bit more. Good morning, Peter. So good to have you with us this morning.
Morning, Jamie and Ryle. Good to be with you. Thank you.
It really is good having you. And I got to say, I feel like we deserve a round of applause here, man. Congratulations. Woo! Unbelievable stuff what you've done here, the work that you've achieved. But I got to ask you, man, how challenging was it doing this, and what were the sort of things you had to take into account, especially considering the fact that we have been in level 3 lockdown?
We're just organising the campaign itself takes months of preparation. So there were those challenges that we faced, which we had done before. Obviously, with the current pandemic situation, the challenges increased. As you can see from many of the stalls that have been flighted before, all our volunteers are appropriately wearing masks while they're performing their duties. But the two main challenges we experienced this year around was a drop in volunteers. Many volunteers decided to pull back after committing their participation, and we can understand that. There were safety issues and perhaps safety issues in their own homes and circumstances, which meant that we had less volunteers this year. So that was one challenge. The second challenge was maintaining queue management and marshalling of the queues. Our clients who arrive for these meals on a daily basis queue up, and some arrive very early. And so unintentionally, there's a gathering that forms, and with less volunteers on the ground, we were struggling to maintain the physical distancing requirement. But regardless of that, we had no serious incidents, and the campaign continued.
Peter, I believe you ran the Feed 5,000 initiative in partnership with the Ladles of Love, along with volunteers as well, as you've mentioned. Just how important were these partnerships? You know, every one of you risked your health to feed those who couldn't feed themselves.
The short answer is vitally important and essential. I've been with the Hope Exchange for about 4 years, and in this NPO sector only for about 4 years now. So I don't have much experience. I come from a commercial background where typically you're fighting for a position and trying to increase your market share, even to the extent of taking out your competitors. I was very encouraged and refreshed having entered the NPO sector, and specifically with the Hope Exchange, to find that the various other organizations and nonprofits working in our sector, by and large, collaborate well, and there's a genuine and sincere commitment to work together to reach all of our goals. So the partnership with Ladles of Love, who are our main feeding partner, and they're situated on our premises in Roland Street in town, was essential to make this a success. And of course, the many volunteers that signed up for this period added to that.
Oh, Peter, I've got to say, I'm absolutely loving what I'm hearing and seeing where your energy is going. But now I also believe, apart from the Feed 5,000, you're actually still helping the homeless by providing them with a place to wash themselves as well as clothing. So why is something like this so important to you, and why you keep going and keep doing this, the above and beyond call to serve those in need?
Yes, Ryle. Feed 5,000 is one campaign that we run during the holiday period, starting with the December and year-end holiday period, and it's in its 6th year now. But the Hope Exchange exists, and its purpose is to help the homeless. Homelessness is rife, and more often than not, it's misunderstood. Homelessness has also seen a sharp increase over the past few years, and particularly we've visibly seen increases since the lockdown that was introduced, the hard lockdown that was introduced in early March or end of March last year. So Feed 5,000 is one initiative which deals with food insecurity and feeding people during the holiday period, when most other service offerings to the homeless also shut. Cape Town, as you might know, except for retail and hospitality in the past, literally shuts down over the holiday period, and there were no feeding options for our homeless clients, and we then saw that as an opportunity to fill the gap. But apart from that, the Hope Exchange helps the homeless through to help themselves, firstly, and through a range of integrated social care services that aims to, one, improve the lives of those living on the street, two, to promote human development, but ultimately, number three, which is what I call the R&R, and it's not the R&R that we're familiar with, it's reunification and reintegration. Ultimately, all of our services, which are quite comprehensive and many, which I'll go into if there's time, is aimed at moving people off the streets. We help people on the streets to meet their basic needs, but not to make life comfortable on the streets. Ultimately, our energies are directed towards moving people off the street, and reintegration is one of those outcomes where someone is no longer dependent on social welfare or on services, social care services, and can operate independently and contribute meaningfully to society and be reintegrated into their community. Reunification is simply that, plus reunifying individuals with their family of origin or other family units.
Peter, I wish we could speak for a longer time, but we want to say thank you so much. We are certainly being inspired this morning by you and also by organizations such as the Hope Exchange, who are giving hope to those who need it in a practical way. We wish you 40 more years of success and continue doing everything that you're doing to feed those in need.
Thank you very much, Jamie.
Oh, it's such beautiful work. I think I can't applaud and encourage it even more. And for the rest of you, Mzansi, keep giving, keep sharing, and keep spreading the love.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
I mean, photography.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. It's a Thursday, which means we are going into the wild, and we love it. Today, we are diving into our oceans again and finding out more about the bride's whale and its feeding patterns.
Wow, now this amazing footage captured a bride's whale feeding left, which has obviously left us wanting to know so much more about these fascinating creatures. So today, we are joined by Marika Muson, the CEO of the Two Oceans Aquarium Education Foundation, to chat more about the feeding patterns of these ocean giants. And Marika, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. And I gotta say, every time I chat to you now, I feel like I'm going on a school outing and I get so excited.
Well, that's great news. It's always so much fun to join you. But I want to start quickly this morning by saying most scientists actually call bride's whales brooders whales. So that's sort of the correct pronunciation. But I'm happy to stick with your brooders whales. I mean, it makes no sense. But the person who named them was actually a South African who worked at the very first whaling station, and he was John Brooders. So yeah, we can choose brides, brooders, whichever goes.
We'll be official this morning. We'll be official, and we'll call them brooders whales. We love that. So as we've kind of in our research, we've found out that these particular whales are seen often feeding individually or in pairs, but are occasionally found in aggregations of up to 20 when found in feeding areas. That must be an impressive sight in its own. Can you tell us a bit more about their different feeding methods?
Yeah, so brooders whales they're quite shy actually. So you don't find them in such big groups like the humpbacks. And they are baleen whales. So they've got those baleen filter plates instead of teeth. But unlike most baleen whales, these brooders whales actually eat fish and small bait fish like anchovies, so not so much krill. But they have really interesting feeding behavior. So from lunge feeding, where they open their mouths really wide, and then they just literally suck in anything that's sort of in front of them, and the prey will get stuck in the baleen plate. And what you have on the screen there now is actually called surface skimming or tread water feeding. It goes by both names. And those whales are in a vertical position. They open their mouths and everything just sort of flushes in. It's like creating a vortex. I actually can compare it to if you had to turn a creepy crawly upside down and it just sucks off the surface. That's basically what happens. And then there's one other technique that they use that's also used by humpback whales is and then you need a few more individuals. So they create a bubble curtain. So they'll blow bubbles in a wide circle, and then the krill and the fish will be trapped in this ring of food, and they'll take turns to lunge feed into the circle. So it's fascinating the way they feed.
Oh, it is so smart. And like G and I literally sitting here, jaws dropped on the ground, seeing that whale literally eat an entire buffet for, I don't know, entire nation in like what looks like one gulp. But I got to ask, so on to more serious things now. With global warming obviously being quite a big factor, large-scale fishing and pollution also comes into play. Our food sources are unfortunately seeming to become a lot scarcer. So some theories are explaining that the method of feeding has actually developed due to polluted waters off the coast of Thailand. Now, is there much truth in this at all?
So whales are really clever, and they tend to actually adapt to the environment, and also how they feed depends on the environment. So many species, of course, feed around Antarctica in summer because there's a rich supply of krill. But brooder whales, they like me, we don't particularly like cold water, so they don't migrate. And because of that, they've had to develop these feeding strategies. And Thailand does have very polluted coastal water because of a lot of river runoff, industrialization, poor sanitation. And this has caused the water to be very nutrient rich. It's got frequent algal blooms. And then you get these pockets of hypoxia where there's very low oxygen. And then the surface water will have higher oxygen. But what's interesting is that brooder whale numbers have increased in Thailand over the last few years. So much so that there's now a whale watching tourism industry.
Wow.
So scientific studies show that these whales will adapt their feeding behaviors to prey behavior. And the Gulf of Thailand's actually quite shallow. And due to all this river runoff, the salinity is very low, the water gets quite warm. So the prey is closer to the surface now for various reasons, including pollution. And the whales are quite clever because then they don't have to use so much energy. They just like hang up with their mouths open, skim off the surface, and they eat up to 600 kilos of small bait fish per day.
Wow.
And breeder whales also, they eat all the time. They're like grazers, unlike most whales who just eat seasonally. So my bigger concern actually in Thailand is there's massive plastic pollution as well. So I can just picture this whale creepy crawly sucking in and ingesting all this plastic, which is a major concern from a pollution perspective and an animal health perspective.
Let's talk about the possibility of a human being sucked into our upside-down creepy crawly. We know that last September, some coverage emerged of a man off the coast of PE just very nearly becoming a part of one of these whales' meals for the day. Can you tell us about that encounter?
Yeah, it's such an amazing story. So it was a team of photographers. Yeah. And they, you can see them there. So they were filming, a bait ball, a sardine bait ball, and with sharks. And I remember the breeder whales, they come up from the deep lunge, feeding with their mouths open. And this diver, Rainer, said, everything just suddenly went dark around him. And then suddenly felt this pressure on his hip, and he realized, oh my goodness, I'm in the mouth of a whale. And baleen whales, luckily, they can stretch these pleats on their chins really wide. So there's a lot of space in there. There's like a room inside their mouths. But brooder whales are quite slim and sleek. So their throats are actually too small to swallow a person. And this diver luckily knew that. So he remained quite calm. He just held his breath. And the whale spat him out very quickly. The whale realized, like, oh, this is not very tasty. So as he popped up, the first thing he asked his fellow photographers, of course, is, did anybody get this on camera? Which, of course, they did. But the best part of this whole story, actually, is that his son is called Jonah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So it was sort of destined. Yeah, somebody in the family had to end up in the whale of a mouth at some point in time. But brooder whales often accidentally suck in penguins and other seabirds, which is really because of these very interesting feeding behaviors.
Oh, man, what an unbelievably interesting discussion. Thank you so much, Marika. Always such a pleasure connecting with you. Continue doing the amazing work that you're doing. We look forward to connecting with you again in the next week or so.
Thank you.
Incredible stuff.
Can you believe that?
Dodge the whale.
Dodge the whale.
Absolutely love that, man. Well, that's maybe a little hungry, in fact. Let's get back in the kitchen.
That's exactly where we are, Graham. We are back in the kitchen, and you know what? There's been a lot of talk around food. It's making us hungry. And if one of your New Year's resolutions was to eat less carbs, then this recipe is the perfect one for you. So to all the carb avoiders, you can still enjoy a nice juicy burger with all of the toppings and trimmings, but without the bun. And that's why we have the very talented now chef as well, Thapelo, in studio, and he is going to show us how to make this bunless burger. I feel like calling it a bunless burger salad.
I've got one for you. We're going to call it the Mediterranean bunless, carb-conscious burger.
See, that is a better name, much better.
Right, inspired by, of course, our lovely restaurant, Molitva, which is an Orthodox Mediterranean restaurant. Yeah, let's add Mediterranean to
Mediterranean will just make it even more official.
There we go.
Love that.
There we go.
I love that.
You know, and keeping it healthy, and staying on that conscious health tip. So yeah, I thought, why not pull it all together, have, obviously the greens.
Yes.
If you come to my restaurant, you literally walk through a garden with vegetables and everything before you sit down. So I always like connecting with the greens. You can use cabbage, you can use rocket, you can use the lettuce. We've got obviously our patty, some cheese, some barbecue sauce, of course grilled peppers. We've got some jalapenos, mixed nuts, and seeds.
Some sunflower seeds.
Some sunflower seeds.
Amazing.
And it's sunflower season right now. Of course, tomatoes and cucumbers. Nice and healthy.
Amazing. I actually think these are pumpkin seeds. The seeds, you can play around with the salad. You can really play around with it. But okay, I love that this is also, you said this is inspired by your business partner.
Of course, inspired by Milan, the way he treats food at Molitva is really incredible. I think it's really why we're doing so well. It's because people really connect with our food. They feel light and healthy. You don't feel like sleeping after you've had our meals. And you're inspired, your body's energized. So we want to keep that beautiful taste, but also take care of the health part of things.
Amazing. Well, let's see if he's impressed by your bun cooking. Well, in fact, this is a bunless burger. Your patty cooking skills.
Yeah.
So what are you doing there? You're just giving a bit of a drizzle with some oil?
Of course, just put some olive oil, a little bit, onto our patty. Brush it a little bit, just glaze it. So, it gives us that lovely texture when it goes onto the pan.
There we go.
Get that in there. And then I'm going to start by literally...
We have a searing hot plate on that
We're
oven
ready.
or stove. There we go.
There we go. So our patty is going to get,
So when you order a steak or make your burger patty, what is your cooking preference? Are you a medium rare type of person? Do you like it well done?
Yeah, I definitely like it well done. Like I'm still like your typical African man.
Okay.
Who enjoys his meat, but
well cooked
I like
and
it
thoroughly
well cooked.
dead.
Yeah. But look, I know most people enjoy the medium rare patty. It still goes in, but this is I prefer it this way.
Well, there we go. That looks amazing. We're going to give it a nice little sear. We're going to get it to that perfect medium rare temperature.
4 minutes on each side, and it starts doing its thing. Yeah.
So this is a burger bowl. So we've got our bowl with our greens here, the freshness that you love to focus on.
Absolutely.
So now, can I help you put the salad together?
Yes, please.
So I can play around with these fresh ingredients you've prepared.
Yes, you can get that going. Yes.
Start with our peppers. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a messy chef.
Yeah, I think what's nice is you can completely freestyle it. Whatever comes first, right? It's health food, so.
And I love eating with my eyes, so I love color on my plate.
Me too.
And one of my goals for this year is to really take a conscious effort into where my ingredients are coming from. I want to make an effort to know what it is I'm putting into my body. 100%. And I love how you explained when you get to your restaurant, you walk through the garden. I take it these ingredients that you put on the plates come from your own garden?
Exactly. We always want our customers to bond with the food that they're going to eat before they even sit down, right? So to walk through our garden and literally see where your tomatoes are coming from, see where your onions and everything, you're doing good.
There we go.
It's coming from is like first prize for us. There's sunflowers and everything when you walk.
So if I need a job in your restaurant, I can make the burger bowl.
You hire it immediately.
Thank
you. You don't even need to know how to make that burger bowl. We'll say yes to you.
So since we are running out of time, we've got a finished patty here, but now you would add your cheese and you would be left with this gorgeous.
There we go.
Melted cheese patty.
Yeah, it looks, so you get creative. You add your cheese or you can add it straight to the bowl, but I like how it looks there already.
There we go, and you simply add it like that. Look at that.
There we go. So
it's like a deconstructed burger at the end of the day.
Amazing. We can add a little bit of these seeds on top just to give it some color and texture. So when do you want to start working at Molletva?
Listen, I'll let you know the next time I'm in Johannesburg. I definitely feel like I should put maybe my cooking skills that I've been learning here on Expresso to the test. But if you would love to get your hands on this amazing inspired recipe from Thaphelo, make sure you visit our website. That's expressoshow.com.
Absolutely.
to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso. We've been talking about being healthy, and the focus has been on wellness, which has become a very big buzzword and has ever been since Gwyneth Paltrow started her brand Goop, arguably the epicenter of the entire movement. But wellness had grown up, and it's so far more important. In fact, it is far more important about well-being now. And that is just, it's just the gimmicks. Now, we have asked Danelle Weekly to come back into studio with us this morning to chat through some of the biggest wellness trends that she's thinking is coming through for the year 2021. Danelle, good morning.
Thanks, hi.
I love the fact that we are focusing on well-being, wellness. I feel like there is a bit of a separation. And I think, it is a time where a lot of us are feeling a little bit more anxious, the unknown of what the year has ahead for us. When it comes to well-being and wellness, what is the difference?
I mean, I think that's what makes well-being such a great space to be in for right now, because wellness has a kind of gimmicky side to it that can be as much about like a candle scent as it is about kind of your home space, whereas well-being feels like it's got a physical and mental intersection. So it is so much more powerful, and I think with everything that's happening with COVID-19, well-being also has a sense of feeling healthy and invulnerable to viruses. So being able to nourish mind and body to feel healthy and good about yourself.
Now, I've noticed on Instagram there's a lot of self-care Sunday routines going through and people really pampering themselves. How can we incorporate that into our weekly routine?
Well, that's exactly it, right? Because why should we reserve it for a Sunday? I love the idea of self-care. I think it started off as a movement, like you see on Insta, of a beautiful bubble bath and a gorgeous bathroom space and a candle. And these days, it's about so much more than that. Self-care can be about nourishing your body. So making a decision to go for plant-based foods, or to embrace a sober, curious movement, or just drink more water, or sleep beautifully under great linen. It can be about finding little safe spaces in your home to have a calming moment of meditation. It's all of those things.
I love how you said the sober, curious movement, because I know there's a lot of people that have been focusing on October.
Yes, dry January.
Dry January. Now we have a national dry blanket over the whole entire country, so that's helping us all with those wellness goals.
It's self-care for the nation.
It is self-care for the nation. Now, when it comes to incorporating, focusing your life on a little bit of fitness, I know a lot of people aren't always comfortable going back to the gym yet, but how important is the fitness trends that you've noticed going into this new year?
I mean, I think that's exactly it. Globally, people are not yet feeling necessarily ready to go into a bricks and mortar space to actually go and train again. So we've seen a huge spike in home fitness, not just in equipment, but in apps and trackers and streaming, so that people can tap into a workout. There's a lot of focus in fitness going forward into this year about that mind-body connection. So incorporating a little bit of mindful movement that's good for your head into fitness, and outdoor fitness, walking, cycling, outdoor gyms.
I love that you mentioned the outdoors, because that's one of the things that I've taken so much joy. I don't know if that initial lockdown period just made us appreciate our freedom so much more. In terms of the outdoor activities, which are some of your favorites?
Well, I mean, listen, outdoors, everyone's so desperate to get outdoors after that first period of lockdown. And I think, again, globally, it's been exactly the same thing. People have all felt that. So natural activities have taken such a skyrocket over the last year. I personally love going for a hike or a walk. I'm far too lazy to cycle. But cycling and walking are huge trends for the year ahead. And other natural activities in terms of travel. So what the travel media are calling human-powered travel, where you can go on a cycle tour or a trek or something like that, that is all about how you get there. And camping, also huge for the year ahead. So camping in a braai.
Camping in a braai, you'll be self-isolated, you'll be safe, you'll be with your closest people, and you really just get to make sure that your 2021 is off in the right direction. Danelle, thank you so much for joining us this morning and bringing us all of those easily achievable tips for the year ahead. I absolutely love that, so thank you, Danelle. And there's also, here's to a year of wellness, well-being as usual. Well, for us all. Now, you can also buy all of your home fragrances, some candles, soft decor, and even additional decor items that you might need to really give your home that sanctuary that you need. All available at Woolworths. You can shop it in store, online, and on the app.
Now, from learning how to self-pamper within the comfort of your home to learning how to take the best self-portrait, as you can see, we're all about working on our image this morning. And self-portraits, you know, are really just very important. You may need them for your CV when applying for a job, to post on social media, or even set up your dating profile. Now, Grant is here to help us create the best self-portraits that we can. And your feed is like giving me so much life. So
I'm glad you think that. Like, self-portraits are one of my favorite ways of taking photos, and I never really embraced it, actually, until the start of lockdown.
I remember.
And it was because I was staying by myself, and I wanted to take some photos, I am the subject matter by myself. And I just really got into, taking some really cool ones. So I've been taking a lot of portraits over the course of a year, and I got some insight to teach you.
Share with us,
a little
please,
bit. And I do
Sensei.
think it's important. I know there are a lot of people out there who are probably thinking it's vain and it's self-centered, but we need photos to represent ourselves on social media for CVs. People do take a look at those photos on CVs, and you've got to represent yourself in the best way possible, not only in your words, but also in your images.
And also with social media playing such a big part in our lives these days, this is how you connect with people. People want to see these pictures, and it speaks life, and it shows the art side to you as well.
Yeah, you can get creative. It's a nice creative outlet, so it's great. So a lot of people aren't very comfortable in front of the camera. So you might want to do this but are too scared, but try these first few tips out and see how they work for you. Bring something to focus on first. So maybe you're not the subject matter in the image per se, but you're holding something or you're doing something else. Maybe you're playing a video game. If you're applying for a CV, maybe you're doing your job. So you pretend that you're doing the thing that you normally do, and then take a photograph, and then you actually are going to be focused on something else instead of posing. Because posing can be quite difficult if you have no experience doing it. So that's my first tip. Bring something else to focus on, so while you take the photo, it looks really good.
Got it.
The other one is standing in a corner. If you're struggling with your location, if you're like, I'm not going to take it, my house looks terrible, I don't have a location that I want to, find a corner in your room and stand in that corner. You'll be surprised at how well the corner will frame you. There'll be lines, there'll be drama lines in that corner, but also it'll make it easier for you to pose because there's not too much, there's not too many ways to stand. And then again, lighting is super important. I cannot stress. All of these tips need great lighting, so make sure that you're very well lit. Rather be more lit than underlit, because especially if you're going to experience lighting, because that's the worst thing. Dark pictures look bad. Make sure you've got a lot of light on your face, and that's really important. If you do have a bigger camera, or if you've got a Samsung now, you've got Pro mode, you can do automatic focus and manual focus. So on your mobile device, or if you've got a Pro camera, try both. I think that's a great way to see what that looks like.
It's convenience to have your phone with you, like the Samsung. It's just there. You can put it there, put it on a tripod, anything, get the picture, boom.
Exactly. And also take a lot of photos. Don't be scared. You can go through and delete photos, but the more photos you have, you're going to be grateful. You're going to be like, and this one photo just looks perfect. Yeah, Jamie, you know how to pose. I've been taking photos of Jamie behind.
Actually, I want to speak about the fact that you took a picture of Zoe earlier on.
Yeah.
And we put it on our social media pages, and a lot of people obviously came through. This? What?
Look, Zoe's really talented at posing.
That is true. You need a face.
But I'm using the rule of thirds here. You can see that I've actually split the image in half, and she's on the one side of the page. There's a nice bit of breathing space on the left-hand side of the photograph, which is really cool. And then obviously, what's important about this photo that I wanted to display is that Zoe's on the set of Expresso, so the logo of Expresso. It's the context. It's that brings something else into focus as well. It's not Zoe's house. You know, we've made it very clear that it's on set. And that's what we want to do. So Zoe could essentially use this photo for her portfolio or a modeling catalog. So that's what's important. The other thing that you can try to do is also use timers and burst modes. So you can set up a camera, and if you're very scared to take a photograph, either have a camera record some video and you just try a couple of poses and then take some screen grabs out of it, or you have a burst mode that shoots a lot of photos at the same time, and then you can go through all of them. And then my last and most important tip is use examples from Pinterest. Go to Pinterest or go to another Instagram account that you like and try copy them as much as you can, because then you'll get to see what makes a good photo and you'll start getting more creative later with your own style.
Grant Hines, we are ready to give you everything. We are ready to serve you. Of course, you can go out and play, try different poses, discover something new about yourself in this process. Again, thanks so much, Grant, for these amazing tips. And 3, 2, 1, give us a... Yes?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Still a few minutes left, and if it's time to help your children get off to a flying start with great back-to-school offers, and Nedbank can help put them ahead of the pack.
Indeed, they can. So you can save 10% in-store on the widest range of quality school supplies at Walton's when using your Nedbank credit card. And of course, you also get to enjoy up to 55 days interest-free credit.
Now find every essential item you'll be looking for all under one roof, from scissors to markers and all things scholastic, so your child can be prepared for anything the new year may hold.
That's all you got to do is use your voucher code NEDWTNS08 to get your discount with your credit card. And remember, the offer is valid up until the 31st of Jan 2021. T's and C's apply, and you can find out more on nedbank.co.za.
That's right, and we're going to say hashtag here's to you, Mzansi, parents, for being A+, back to school parents. And of course, there is a few more A+ parents that we have that we still need to test out.
Yeah, we'll give him an A+. We'll give him an A+ because he's that kind of dad. We're going to have a little bit of fun with Top Singers. We've still got him in our clutches. We're going to play a game of Never Have I Ever. I'm assuming you've played this before. Surely.
Why am I nervous?
Yeah, you must be nervous. You must be, man. No, I just want absolute truth, my friend. Absolute truth. This is where we find out the time for self-promotion is done.
Okay.
Now we get down to the real business.
Real
so I'm
stuff.
obviously going to pose you a number of questions. You've got your various responses there. I have never. Okay, let's get into it, my friend.
Champ, let's go.
Never have I ever forgotten my lines on set and completely spaced out. Hopefully not today. Hopefully not today.
Can't have that today.
Okay, so we know you're going to be honest. I love that. Never have I ever been late for a professional MC gig. Because you can't, hey?
Yeah, I don't play those games. Not now.
You can't, man. Otherwise, you'll never get booked again.
No.
Never have I ever given the wrong cell number to someone.
What do you mean? That's my regular
That's a standard procedure. A whole lot of people...
Always flip the last number, whatever it is.
You know how many
don't
people
look like
right
you're
now are
lying?
looking at their phone, sending you a message, just doing a tester.
Sorry.
Never have I ever used products to dye my beard. You're all about
Well, unless it's set. Like now, I'm going to go all black when I get to set.
Really?
But I keep it natural.
Just shave like you've owned that. I love that.
Yeah, man.
Never have I ever disliked an actor on set but had to pretend that I'm okay with them. And again,
are we still playing?
And again, hopefully this doesn't apply to today.
Right now.
Oh, really? Hopefully they're not watching. Oh, my word. Never have I ever used my fame to get out of trouble.
What are you talking about? I worked so hard for this.
There's got to be some kind of spin-off, man. Never have I ever forgotten someone's name but pretended that I do remember, but really don't.
Dude, it's like, you know, it's like story of my life.
How many people do you meet a day?
Exactly. So I just stick to calling everyone my king, my queen, my champ.
My brother.
My brother,
how you doing? I've never ever told someone they looked good, but they were clearly a hot mess.
I really believe in making people feel good. What was the question? Never, ever, have I? No, I have. Because I feel like words can add to someone's day. Sometimes.
How am I looking today, bro?
You look amazing, I must say, bro. It's really incredible.
Man. Thanks, man. Never have I ever been a diva on set just to get my own way.
Nah, it's not really my style. I talk. You know, I talk it out. Diva doesn't work. Just be straight. I shoot straight.
And he's been okay this morning. He hasn't had like a rider, you know.
No, there is a rider for after this. I hope the champagne's ready.
It is. It's sitting on ice. And this one is a telling one. Never have I ever played this game and lied.
Not today.
Not today.
I promise. Not today.
I can't believe a word he says. But have you got an answer for me, dude? One last question.
Yeah.
How many hats do you own?
Oh my goodness, I've lost count, but I'm close to. I collect hats. I buy hats of people's heads. I travel.
Really?
I've bought hats. Yeah, I've probably got close to 90 hats in different spaces and boxes. I love hats. First time I landed in New York, I went to the hat and cap store. It's 4 stories.
Wow,
Your
4
heaven. Floors, and it's heaven. Like my grandfather used to rock hats, tops, and I think that's stayed with me. I like a classic hat, but I love caps and sporties, everything. I'm a hat man.
I'm telling you the truth right now. You look good in them, man. So don't stop.
You,
we love you for that, and we love you for all the figurative hats that you wear as well. It's been so impressive catching up with you again, my man. It makes me feel good about the world and where the industry is going. So thank you so much. More success.
Appreciate you, my friend.
Go and learn those lines, buddy. Good luck on set today. We can't wait to see this one come out, just like all of the other amazing performances you put out in recent times. We really do love you, dude. Thank you for your time this morning.
Appreciate you guys. All love, always. Always and always. Thank you.
Oh, man, I think we should round this one off with one more performance just to cap an amazing day today.
Are you ready for a sizzling summer holiday in Mzansi? Your best holiday is yet to come when you book at any participating Marriott branded hotel. Redefine your holiday with a beach break, nature retreat, or a road trip adventure. With the Marriott Summer Holiday offer, you can enjoy 25% off standard hotel rates, including free breakfast if you're a Marriott Bonvoy member and 15% if you're a non-Bonvoy member. Book on Marriott.com for the best rates guaranteed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, welcome back. You're still locked in at your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we're about to wrap up what has been one incredible day out here in the studio on Expresso. But of course, before we do kick it off with anything, we're going to start off with fireworks. Now, if there's one thing to stand out, and especially when it comes to Cape Town's multi-genre-based band, it's the Pedestrians, and it's that they believe in their music and their God-given talents. Now, they shot to fame when they collaborated with hitmaker and friend of Expresso, Craig Lucas, and their single So Much Fun, which even caught the attention attention of a completely wide, large, and incredibly big international audience. Now, the band will be performing this song titled Honest. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pedestrians.
This is the first, never been performed before. Hey. Would you only tell me what I wanna hear? Don't you think I'd want the truth? Baby, keep it crystal with me, I got fears. I got them just like you. We need no lies between. Oh, don't you say what you don't mean. Don't you be fake around me. Show me the real you underneath you. So, would you be honest, honest with me? Would you be honest, honest with me? Something you don't know about love. I could give you my time, my true to show you what it really means to trust. I'll be patient. Ooh. With you, we need no lies between. Oh, don't you say what you don't mean. No. Hey, don't you be fake around me. Show me the real you underneath. So baby, yeah, would you be, say, honest, honest with me? Would you be honest, honest with me? Honest with me, baby. Would you be? We need no lies between. No one the real you underneath you. Don't you be fake around me. Show me the real you underneath. Yeah.
Thursday, you and your feel-good breakfast show. The Pedestrians, everybody. Take a bow, everybody. Take a bow.
Take a bow. Remember that name. The Pedestrians, and they're only just getting started, baby. Unbelievable. They've helped me with a couple of my meal packing activations. They're willing to do anything for anyone. They are an amazing group of guys. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brother Bear, I hope the lines are down for the day. I hope you're ready to get the beard
One shot,
dyed.
No pressure whatsoever.
But an absolute pleasure hosting you this morning. Thank you for playing along.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys. Like such an amazing, beautiful bunch. I appreciate your.
Sorry for making you show your abs on TV. But
yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll send my management to you.
But hopefully you guys at home have enjoyed the show as much as we have. It's been an amazing Thursday, and we've still got those Friday feels to sink into tomorrow. So make sure that you keep it locked. And hopefully today you have taken some of the most amazing photos that you ever will. So please share them on all of our social media platforms, and maybe we'll be featuring one of your sunrise photos in our weather report tomorrow. But until then, don't forget how much we love you. We'll see you then. Adios.
Salud.
Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.